something went wrong with my StreamYard. I gotta do a whole rigmarole over here. But regardless of that, welcome back, everybody. It is Friday night here on May the 23rd. My name is Spencer Baculi. You might also know me as Mab. You might know me as the editor of Bounding Into Comics, the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics, excuse me. Or you might know me as the host of this here show, Good Mab Ugly, where after a week trudging through all the bullshit that's happening to our favorite franchises, all of our world, like let's be honest, we got to remind ourselves that there's still some fun stuff out there. There's still good stuff out there, things that we can be happy about, enjoy, laugh, reasons to wake up, if you will. So, without further ado, that is why we have this show, and I'm glad to be back here hanging out with all of you guys. I'm sure if you follow me on social media or you follow Bounding Into Comics, you will know probably what we're going to be talking about tonight. The main topic of tonight is pretty much going to be Adi Shankar, the man behind Netflix's Castlevania, Netflix's Devil May Cry, Captain Laserhawk. He has accused me of, piss poor journalism. He's accused me of making up quotes to sell a story. And you guys know me. I don't really care about, haters or whatever, anybody crying about my coverage on Bounding Into Comics. But the second you start accusing me or my team of, journalistic impropriety, whether that be plagiarism or making things up or stealing content, that's when I go to the mat. So I'll break down that entire crazy situation. So if you haven't been online these last 2 days, do not worry. I will catch you up. Aside from that, it's pretty much an open floor tonight. Honestly, I went through the Bounding Into Comics archives like a second ago to see what are we going to talk about. And not really that much happened this week. It's just one of the, that's just kind of what happens throughout the weeks. I guess the biggest thing that happened is Lilo and Stitch, and maybe we'll talk about that just for a second. It's not going to be a big thing, but I have seen the ending of the controversial ending, if you will. I've seen all the changes. We could probably get into that, but other side note, guys, normally I know we run for about 2.5, 3 hours here on this show. Tonight I'm going to be trying to stick it to very close to 2 because, pardon me, I will be playing Magic later. I've got some friends who are playing at a game store nearby, so I'm going to go try and get my ass kicked with Captain America and Miku over there. But don't worry, you have me for these 2 hours. You have my full attention. I am here to hang out and obviously the other half of this show is talking to you guys. What's on your mind? What's up with you guys? I want to hear from you. I want to know what you guys have going on in your lives. But aside from that, let's before we kick into any real discussions or any real topics, let's say hello to all of you fine, beautiful gentlemen and ladies out there watching either right now and not being able to chat. I see you. Hey, what's going on? And also to our chatters, starting with Tehillim. Shalom and good to see you as well, my friend. I believe this is your comic book pickup day, right? Normally you go into the city and pick up your pull list. So anything cool? Or maybe you don't do it this week. I have no idea. Either way, nice to see you, my friend. Corey! Yes, very, very much gay. Very, very much hey. Very, very much Spence. What is going on? Always a pleasure to have you, my friend. I think we'll actually probably curve up right next to each other. By the time you're going to hop off the internet to go to bed, we'll probably be wrapping up here too. It's going to be one of those nice synchronicities that happen tonight. But I'm always happy to have you, Corey. And the exhaustion, the secondhand exhaustion, as always. We also have Sakura Mita. What's going on, Sakura? Sakura says, I began to study Vietnam War right now. Hey, that is awesome. It's a fascinating time period. It's one of my political favorites, not necessarily actual favorites, because it was a really shitty time for the people of Vietnam, for Americans, for our own soldiers, all of that fun stuff. But it's one of my favorite moments because it started the trend of, it's no surprise that I am not a war hawk or an expansionist or anything like that, right? Like an American one. So I always love that Vietnam and the war on terror, the war in Afghanistan, America puts all of our fucking money. They can't pay for us to have, good roads or proper public services, but damn will they throw $4 million into the war the military industrial complex, right? So it always just makes me laugh that starting with Vietnam, or like with the precedent set by Vietnam, all it takes to take out the United States in a war is guerrilla warfare, right? Like we've been beaten. We are the most powerful military in the world, and we've been beaten. The only two wars we've like actually lost were beaten by people using like sticks and traps. It's crazy, but I enjoy. I think weren't you talking the other day about, or last week, about what would happen if, or like what would it be like if a Resident Evil was set in Vietnam, like the Vietnam era or something? It's a very fertile ground to mine. I think we're finally getting to that point where we can actually talk about it and discuss it without people crapping their pants over, the correct reads of all the situations. So as far as I can remember, I think there's only been like 5 Vietnam games. 2 of them are like RTSs, 3 of them FPSs, and one of them was a battlefield, which it's pretty cool. Good idea, but yeah, I don't know. You can't really do a good, go be a protagonist in Vietnam story. It's not going to end well. Just go watch Apocalypse Now. That's kind of all you need. That and Full Metal Jacket. Let's see. We've also got Punk. Hey, Punk, what is going on? Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada, indeed. I genuinely don't know the words to that national anthem, right? Like I don't know why. I've looked it up a bunch of times. I've listened to it a bunch of times. Some of my best friends are Canadian. Just never been able to pocket that. Maybe that's because my brain is too full of good old-fashioned mountain waves of grain. You know what I mean? No time for gooses and leafs in this beautiful American brain. Oh, we've got Andrew. Andrew says, no Netflix DMC in the thumbnail. Here's the thing. I thought about doing that, and then I decided, you know what? I hate you. I hate all of this, so I don't really want to look at Netflix Dante. I tried to do a bunch of different thumbnails using a bunch like images from Devil May Cry and screen grabs and all that. They just didn't work in the way I do my thumbnails. You know how I cut things out and I highlight one subject in an image? It just wasn't working because of the graphical fidelity and the way, like, its aesthetics. It wasn't working. So then I went, well, what do I do? And I'm glad you kind of drew attention to it, because if you guys don't know, in my thumbnail tonight it is technically not Dante. It is Mega Man X using the Dante trigger. If you guys played the Mega Man X Dive mobile game, which also got a standard console release, actually I think it was just a PC release, but still, if you haven't, I would recommend playing it if you're a Mega Man fan. Probably the biggest downside about the home version, or not like the full version where you don't have to do microtransactions or wait for your energy to reload or anything, is that they basically just took off all of the money, or like the money gates, right? So you still have to, if you beat a mission, like you beat one stage, you have to go back to the main menu, select the next stage, enter the stage, then you go, like, there's no auto going, no keep going. It's very frustrating, but it's still a lot of fun, especially because of all of these different gacha versions of the various Mega Man characters that they've done. There's, I believe I used Swimsuit Layer as like a stream buddy way back in like the very beginning of the show. There is, you guys have seen like the True Force Mega Man toys, the ones that are like super detailed, where he looks, he's very robotic. He's got all the what do you call that? Like I guess they're thrusters, but they're not thrusters. I don't know. Robot designy. They have him, and then they gave like Zero a version, and they gave Axel a version. But 2 of the characters they featured in that game were crossovers with Devil May Cry, and it made Zero into Virgil and Mega Man into Dante. So I figured at the very least, I've got Dante, so if people are scrolling or somebody searches Adi Shankar or whatever, they'll see Dante, but they'll do that pause because they'll go, what the heck? Like, that's Dante, but that's not Dante. Sort of like if you are reading a Clone Saga comic and you're like, oh, that's Spider-Man, but it's not Spider-Man. I can't follow that. You're gonna pause, and maybe they'll go, oh, let me see what's going on here. Basically, you guys know me. I'm not really in this for the love of, money or growing a big audience. I'm really here to remind you, like, to give everybody out there a balance against all the negativity that we have, right? So I don't normally care about that, about all the search engines or any of that. But like I said at the top, I'm at war here, right? Like you made Mav go Mavi. I don't really have a good term because I don't want to give it that much weight to say like, oh, I'm raging, I'm the Hulk, but my goat has been got, right? So with that, yeah, that's why there is no Dante from that show. And also because I've already used all the cool images of him, whether for Abounding Featured or for the thumbnail we did a couple weeks ago. I hate that show, guys. That show makes me so angry, but we will get into it. Sakura Mita says, I know he threw a temper tantrum. Dude forgets it's the internet. Nothing fades away. It's not even a case of that, Sakura. I wish that was something we used to see, right? Like, oh, you said this thing, but here's a tweet from 2 years ago, or here's a video of you from a year ago. This is literally like a week, and we have the evidence that we're presenting in his face, and he's going, So, yeah, again, pretty perturbed over here. Look, Andrew, I may be a nerd. Anyway, how's it going, Tehillim? Tehillim says, we'll be collecting my comics on Tuesday for a little while. Not a bad run. I hope you are at least I know we were talking last night on foil variant. I know you are with me and Andrew on Absolute Flash. You're probably a little closer to keeping it in that fool's gold territory. But whereas me and Andrew, unfortunately, you put Wally West at the center of something, we're going to stick around probably longer than we want to, or like is proper, I guess, you know what I mean? Or if everybody's going to fall off a book, we'd probably be on it for 2 more issues as long as Wally is center stage. I mean, what we went like 7 issues into the all-in Flash run, and it was terrible from the leap, but it was Wally, it was all we got. So no worries. Always happy to have you. No, Canada. That's what I'm saying. As my boy Jacob Smith, Society Reviews, our movie guy over on Bounding, as he likes to say, we're building the border wall on the wrong side. And I kind of tend to agree with him. You know why? Because yes, we've got the South American migrants coming in, and we can have a discussion over all the resources and politics around all that. But over on the Canadian side, all of their comedians are coming over and taking our comedy jobs, and I don't appreciate that. All right, I want good old American laughs like Mitch Hedberg and Mike Birbiglia and Dane Cook, right? Yeah, like real American comedy. But we got to keep these Leafs out of here. Let's see. Timon says, hey, yo, Spencer. Hey, yo, Timon. I just finished my Python lessons. Let the weekend begin. That's what I like to hear. We're kicking off the weekend. Homework is done. Parents, no rules, right? Let everybody bust out your Capri Suns. Throw your hat backwards. Here, I'll join you. There you go. Ichikaku Ramen, everybody's favorite Naruto establishment. We'll go Ash Ketchum. Ready. Oh, dude, I looked like the kid from the Power Rangers movie. That's weird. I didn't look like him when I was younger, but all of a sudden, 34, I get weird. When the internet, like, poor connection fairies bless my face with de-aging, I look like, what's his name? Like Justin? Let's see. I was only poking, but I get it. Oh, I know you. That's the thing, right? Like, I think how do I put this? I think I've told this to like a couple friends lately, because we do live in an age where we unfortunately are conditioned to sort of over communicate in the sense that, like, if we say something, we've got to like heavily clarify everything. For me personally, like, I appreciate that from other like strangers and stuff. At least on my end, if I'm talking with my friends, I can pretty much gauge, like, if you're joking, if you're being serious, if you are, actually mad at me. So I will never take a joke super poorly. If I do, feel free to call me out. I will probably go, yep, I'm tired. Yep, I'm hungry. Yeah. My L. But Andrew says, just on PC, great Mega Man X gameplay. The menus are shite, though. That's what I'm saying. You don't realize what you will put up with when you're playing a mobile game until you get that unlocked version. Because what was my, like, I kept thinking to my, like, I want to play that game. I kept wanting to play that game. I had it installed. I was putting in work, like, little bits of gameplay over time, but I was like, why don't I feel motivated to keep playing? And it's because I was getting tired of mission end, go to menu, collect your rewards, go to the next, go back to stage select the next, just pay like 3 guys, Capcom, to just make it more normal. Just, you don't have to link them all together, but you could do the thing where, remember they used to do this in old side scrollers? You would run off the side of the screen and it would like black out and then it would black back in with you running into a new area. Just do that. Like, that would make me insanely happy if you guys did that. Like, then I would actually play through the game. Oh, I do believe you and I have talked about this. Andrew says Cross Dive has all of my favorite base versions too. It's got Classic Forte. It's got Forte EXE. It has a, well, Bass Forte, or no, Treble Forte? I'm the most diehard Mega Man fan. Genuinely can never remember what that purple form is called. And then, then they've got like the upgraded version, what is it, Beast Forte, right? Like, that one's super cool where he gets like the wolf head cannon in EXE. Yeah, we've talked about this. I highly recommend it. Go, if you like Mega Man, go give it a shot. It is fun because, again, it keeps like the gacha gameplay, so you still have to like get gems or whatever and spend them to upgrade your characters and unlock them. But Capcom was lazy, so instead of like shifting reward unlocks or the system or anything, they just went, oh, those missions that gave you, let's say, 100 credits on mobile that you could only do once a week, fuck it, you could do it all you want, and they'll give you 10,000 credits. Like, you will just soak in money. It's fun. It's sort of like a power thing. You're like, hell yeah, no limiters on this gacha. But after a while, you'll go, okay, I wish there was these quality of life improvements. So on and so forth. Volume Dealer, what's going on? Brat, is this Brat's Summer? No, Brat's Summer was last year. And I'm gonna be real, I love Charlie XCX. I think we've talked about this before. I play music. I love music. I love all the arts, all of that fun stuff. If somebody were to ask me, like, what are the main genres you listen to? I unfortunately can say I listen to a little bit of everything, because I truly do. I try to engage with, we know this, I try to engage with things on its level, in its context and everything. So I like some metal stuff, I like country stuff, I like orchestral stuff. I have an awesome album that is, it's called, oh man, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. It's in my music player. It is, Plant, is it this? Pardon me. I have this album called Mother Earth's Plantasia, and it's by this guy named Mort Garson, who's a pretty, not like popular or famous electronic musician, but he's kind of like well known in the UK. Like, he's got a sizable following. He literally made this electronic album because he was making it for plants. Like, that was his entire thing. He's like, I'm gonna make this album just for plants. And it's weird, and there's lots of beeps, but there's parts of it that I really, really like. So if you were to ask me, like, what do you mainly listen to? I always default to, pop punk, rap, hip hop, and female pop stars. Like, I love female pop stars. I love Charlie. She's one of my favorites. Brat was not that good of an album to me. Maybe I'm just out of the youth now, and I'm just not in the target demo, but I was like, swing and a miss there, Charlie, but I'll see you next time. Anyway, sorry, I was clicking back into our windows. I was getting rid of the music player. Always happy to have you, Volume Dealer, and it's nice to have you early. I'm glad to see you. By the way, I know you tweeted at me the other day. I've been meaning to get back to you. I forget if you can remind me of what you asked me, because I shared something and I don't remember what it was. You had a question. I haven't been ignoring you. You guys know me. I'm very rarely on social media. I got too much shit going on. Let's see. Hey, we've got Shinkai. What's going on? Shinkai says, Color. Oh, my mic is crackling. I am now catching up to that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna plug and unplug. I'm not going anywhere. You'll still see me, but unfortunately, you'll hear nothing. So, here, let's see. Let's play some Plantasia. Well, I know he's not gonna copyright this while I do this. And you're gonna be like, oh, I thought Mav was weird, but now he's super weird. Okay, hopefully the crackling's gone. Something, or no, I think it got worse there. What the hell? Okay, I think I fixed it. I think I was also, I had my mic at a bad angle, so I was smacking it a lot, and that's on me, so hopefully it's better now. Now, of course, the camera wants to fart itself. So, 1 second while I clean that. But while I do that, I can still talk to you guys. Let's see. Can I at least kill my camera so you guys don't have to look at, like, my blurry face? Oh! Do I have an image to put up in my stead? I don't. Let's just put one up really quick. We'll put up my writer. That's a very easy, very agreeable little graphic for us all to look at while I take care of the camera so that you can look at my beautiful, beautiful face once again. I know that is why most of you show up to this stream. Hey, look at that. He popped right in there. Okay, everyone. There we go. Center that bad boy. All right. While I clean that camera, Shinkai says... sorry, guys. Grabbing the things to clean the camera lens. So, Colorman is a fun boss. Here's the thing. I'm assuming... First of all, what's going on, Shinkai? Happy to have you. Second, wherever I was. Sorry, I'm a little flustered with this camera thing. But I love EXE1. That game has like a very, very special place in my heart, but it is rough gameplay wise. Like the power plant, I just replayed that, what was it, like a year or two ago when the Battle Network collection came out. It is one of those like of its time designs. Like it is very, very, very rough. You know what I mean? So one of the worst things about Battle Network is that how do I put this? When you are running, right? Like when you're exploring the map, in most RPGs, if let's say you're going straight, when you come back onto the map, you'll still be going straight, or looking straight rather. If you are looking downwards, like towards the player, you'll come back in looking at the player. In Mega Man, you run into battle, you fight, and it always returns Mega Man to the same default pose, which is like towards the player. So you come out of a battle and you go, oh shit, like where was I going? And then of course all the backgrounds are the same. The tiles are like very similar. So that game's super rough, but I do recommend everybody play the Mega Man EXE series. It's probably, I would say, okay, I think Mega Man, like the core Mega Man series, of course, goes on like a different pedestal because that's the granddaddy that sets the standards. We don't get everything else without it. I think in terms of like sub genres or sub lines, obviously Mega Man Legends is my number one. Number two would definitely be Mega Man EXE. Sorry, like how do I want to start this part? It's funny you bring that up, Shinkai, because The other day, I was talking with, Josh Berger, the condescending Josh, Bounding into Comics editor. We were talking about the Mega Man EXE series, and we were talking about, like Saturday morning cartoons, what we used to watch, and I told him, oh yeah, I used to watch the Mega Man Ruby Spears show, and he went, it's kind of weird that Mega Man never got an anime, and I went, well, EXE did, and he went, okay, but not very long. I know I've been talking about this with Shinkai a lot. We, over here in America, I can only speak for America, but I'm kind of going to presume it's everywhere else. We only got the first 2 seasons of Battle Network, and we only got the first 12 volumes of the manga. When the show runs for a total of 5, and the manga is like a 40-volume thing, and it was because it couldn't compete with Pokemon, right? Like, it came out pretty much at the same time, a couple years after. Pokemon's 1997, Mega Man EXE 2001, comes stateside 2002. Pokemon is in full rip roar across everything. They tried everything. They did toy lines, they did the licensing of the anime. They even made a card game. And none of it was bad. It was one of those times where the market, like you just missed the market. Right? You know what I mean? Sorry guys, I'm fixing my hair because, again, however I did it when I got out of the shower today makes me look very, very odd. Anyway, let's see. Yes, Andrew, All In Flash was so bad. Zero is here, and Zero says, I lack a throat. Oh, I think you mentioned something about being sick. My condolences go out to you, especially because I am so close to my own sickness that I remember what it's like to be sick. These last 2 weeks were awful, so I wouldn't wish being sick on anybody, but I'm glad you're here, buddy. I'm glad you're at least, if you can't talk, you can at least hang out, you can at least type, and I always appreciate you being here. Let's see. Sakura asks, is this true? The truth always about pain? I don't understand the question here, Sakura. The sentence kind of doesn't make sense, so if you could reword it, I'd be happy to answer, but I really don't remember. I can't make sense of that one. Andrew says, Super Forte. Okay, I can never, ever, ever remember. Remember, I grew up in a time when things weren't getting localized, so fans we used fan names for a lot of things for a long time. So I think that's where I'm getting mixed up. Is it super bass? Is it gospel bass? Is it purple bass, which was a really dumb one that people tried to push, and I just I never got behind that. Purple bass? Come on, we can do better than that. Volume Dealer says, all I said was brat. Hey, I know. And that's, you guys know how this goes. You guys drop topics, I talk about it. Whatever pops in my head, your heads, and whenever I hear brat nowadays, I always just think of that Charlie album because it was so big with that association. Yada yada yada. What am I explaining? You guys know how mimetic wording or words work and all that fun stuff. Let's see. Timon says electronic music is not music. Highly disagree. I think anything where you are using musical tones to create art is music. There was this video going around a couple months ago that a bunch of conservatives were crying or not crying, but pissing their pants over, right? Where this woman, and I looked her up, I wish I could remember off the top of my head, but she wrote a symphony piece around water, and one of the instruments she uses is various, splashes and drums and the crystal glass thing, and I thought that was beautiful. I'm like, this is that's what humans do. We experiment with these sounds. I can get the evocation of water that she's going for. But then, all the conservatives were like, oh, there's no drums here. There's no guitar. Why would we fund this? Why does anybody care about this? Open up your minds. Open up your minds. You don't have to like it, but you can always recognize and go, okay, yeah, that is music, right? There are limits. I don't consider, what were they? Oh my God, this is going to be for my old heads. Oh God. Oh God. They're so bad. Broken Side. If anybody remembers Broken Side, if I have any other emo era kids around here, you'll remember Broken Side and the weird, what new metal was with like rap, uh, like rap infused with metal. That's what they were, but they were trying to do. We called it crunkcore, and it was like screamo mixed with the sort of like Lil Jon style of like party rap, right? It was not great, and I don't consider them music, but there's still actual weird music out there. Let's see. Oh my goodness, this is. I'm all flustered now. This is the best guest we always get. We have the lovely Sherry, lovely as ever, gracing us with her lovely presence. How's it going, beautiful? Always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to have you join our gaggle of dorks, nerds, and weirdos. We could definitely use a couple cool points. Let's see. Punk says, lurking while watching the Oilers Stars playoff game. Enjoy. I know that neither of those are your team, I think, but I know the playoffs are raging right now. Again, I've kind of tuned out ever since I knew the Blackhawks weren't going. But you know, you catch things in passing. I follow a bunch of sports news accounts. That's what happens. Andrew says, Net Warrior is easily my favorite Mega Man series, but those first few games are rough. They're hard, and they, like I said, they're of their time, right? Like there's no like guide, or not guide, because like, no, I don't want all of my games to have the Batman Arkham Detective Vision, follow the line, and that's where I go. But I would like at least a indicator, like maybe they did add this, I think, in 3 or 4, where you could like hit the L trigger and Mega Man would be like, oh, we've got to go here. Or weren't we supposed to ask this person about this? That would help, but they just give you nothing. They go, okay, go to AC/DC town and figure out like what's wrong with the, investigate the mysterious occurrences, but the occurrences they're not on the map, right? Like you have to talk to someone and they'll imply like, oh, thanks for talking to me, Lan. I lost my dog in these bushes. And then, arf, arf, it pops out and, oh, here's a chip, Lan. Thank you for that. It's so if you forget for like 1 second where you're supposed to be going or doing, you're kind of SOL, right? That's it. Yeah, a lot of RPGs were like that back in the day. A lot of just general games. I'm not somebody who wants easy games, but I do think things like an ongoing quest journal, or put a marker on the city I'm supposed to go to, or what have you, the area I'm supposed to go to. Something like that, especially in this day and age where we have so many games and everybody's hopping between game after game after game. There are times where I put down games for months, years, and I just forget where I am. And I go, well, time to start that one over, because there's just no way I'm ever going to remember. One of the best things about those early ones, though, is you guys know me. I love my alternate costumes. I love all that kind of, cool design stuff. When they started introducing Style Cross and Navi Cross and Soul Cross and Double Cross, like I love seeing the evolution of it, because all of them are cool and they just keep getting cooler, right? I especially like in 2 and 3 where like Mega Man would randomly randomly get the style form that best suited your gameplay style. So if you were defensive, you would get shield style, and maybe you would get water shield, or you would get wood shield. If you were super offensive, you're going to get fire, you're going to get red. I loved all that stuff. And I love all the toys. Oh, God, give me more Mega Man EXE stuff. I will buy all of it. Kotobukiya they're doing some Mega Man EXE model kits, and I have all of them either on pre-order or sitting in my closet because I don't have enough space where I currently live to actually have my stuff out. I have all of them, except for Roll, and that pisses me off because EXE Roll is just adorable. She's like a Mon Villani adorable, and I want her sitting on my desk doing the Roll arrow, if you will. Uh-oh. My volume is low. Interesting. Let's see. I'll boost that up. Let's see if that's better, guys. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. I'm getting back to everybody, but Volume Dealer did let me know what he was DMing me about, and that is actually one of the things I wanted to highlight before we get into anything. So I'll get to that, Volume Dealer. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Wolf, I that was one of those mangas. So what was I? I was probably 12, 13 at the time. Very early days of manga being sold in tankobons in the West. So I remember I used to go every month to the Borders or Barnes and Noble in the Mission Valley Mall in San Diego, and I would buy. I collected like every volume of Sergeant Frog, Carrero Gunso, of Naruto, like the actual original Naruto, and Mega Man EXE. And then both Mega Man EXE and Sergeant Frog got to a point where they got dropped by their localizers. I think Mega Man was Viz, and then Sergeant Frog was Tokyo Pop. They both dropped them, and so they weren't releasing him anymore. So I went, I don't really want to just Naruto at the time was my least favorite of those three, even though I really liked it. So I went, no Mega Man. I'm not going to go to the store anymore. And so I have, all 12, 14 of Mega Man, 15 or so of Sergeant Frog, and then probably, the first 14 of Naruto. I'd have to dig out my old, childhood room boxes, which are, good Lord, something. Yeah, Andrew, you like that? I told you. I can't believe you hadn't seen the base one or the Forte one, whatever name you guys want to use for it. Who else here for the longest time? Obviously, this is a very common mispronunciation, but who else called him Bass for the longest time? And here's what I'll tell you why I called him Bass. Not because of the fish, and not because I thought it sounded better. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It wasn't named after the fish, and it wasn't because I thought the fish moniker applied to him or whatever, but Bass sounded more to 10-year-old, 11-year-old me or whatever, sounded far more Japanese and anime-y than bass. And so I was like, oh yeah, Bass. Bass and Forte? Fuck yeah, that's a cool combination name. And what was that? When I was 17, I learned that I was doing it wrong, and it took me 2 years to finally make it natural to say bass. Zero says, no, I just had a mental... Dude, obviously we don't have to get into it here. We're obviously in public. We're all hanging out. But regardless, I am glad you have come out on the other side of this. I know things can get rough. I know things, personally are challenging for everybody right now. I'm glad you made it out. I'm glad you're here with us. And remember, guys, if you are ever feeling down or you ever feel you just need to hang out, Fridays, we are here. And as we keep going, I'll be getting more streams going. You guys know I'll have the trading card game stream going, which even if it's focusing on trading cards, we can still talk. I can still chat with you guys. And then, of course, Wednesday's bounding, Thursday's foil variant. I'll give you guys the whole rundown where it is. But always remember, guys, you've got a community here. You can hang out. You don't have to crawl into the recesses of the internet and start going, I took the red pill. Don't be that kind of guy. I get the impetus, but let's not act like 15-year-old girls, right, Adi? Shinkai says, didn't Mega Man get 2 animes, EXE and Star Force? I always forget Star Force got an anime. I love the Star Force games. I wish we got more of them, but I always forget it got an anime. I think because that one, you know what it was? Star Force was one of those games series that was primarily launching and coming out when I was in college. For those of you guys who might not remember or are new here, when I went to college in 2008, I didn't grow out of video games. I didn't get ashamed of them. I didn't not like them. I kept up with all the news. I followed everything. But just with work and school and dating and being social and yada, 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 I just had no time for video games. There were probably 4 video games I actually got to play fully in my college career. And they were Devil May Cry 4, Arkham City, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You guys remember I used to be pretty heavily in the fighting game scene. And then on KOTOR 1. Like those were the 4 games that I actually had solid enough time to sit down and play while I was in college. So I always forget Star Force. I got into that. That was one of the things I picked up once I started having big boy money. I was like, I'm going back for all 6 of them. Like, I got to get into this thing. So you are correct. You always hold me accountable on my Mega Man anime knowledge, which I appreciate, my friend. But yes, Star Force does have an anime. I haven't watched it. I think you said you were starting it. You might be the only person I know who actually watched it, right? So you're gonna have to let us know how it is. Sakura is saying, the quote he's asking, is this true? Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. I mean, we're seeing that. We've seen that ever since the internet sort of became widely accessible in 2012, that 2010, 2012 window when smartphones became affordable and everybody was hopping on the internet. I mean, for example, you have people like, this is the one that's been making me laugh a lot lately, is when Elon introduced Grok to Twitter, and all of his acolytes, all of the super, like, just far right, everything is a conspiracy like type of people, they were like, oh, finally a true, like a weapon against truth. Grok, what does this mean? What is the actual number here? And anytime nowadays you see it with give a wrong answer, it's like piled on with people going, oh, it only uses liberal sources. Oh, it only does this. Oh, Elon's been compromised. Oh, Trump is, and I'm just like, guys, it's okay. Like, it's okay to, take reality and accept it and move on from there. It's a weird time we live in, honestly. We live in an era where there's kind of honestly no more objective reality, right? We used to be able to say, somebody said this, somebody did this, this is what this bill means. Now you get 7 billion different interpretations and everybody believes theirs has to be true. Even if you're putting it right in front of their face and saying, here's everything that says this is how it works, they go, I don't believe you. Adi is an example of that, right? We will definitely get into that. Shinkai says, my issue with Net Warrior anime is it doesn't have an end. Last episode is set up for Access, so in that sense, I like Access in Beast, not Beast Plus, more. Stream was good, but too long and unfocused. Okay, yeah, you've gotten further than I have. Like, I think I'm only on Beast, and I gotta wrap Beast. But I remember hearing that a lot of fans weren't happy that it just sort of goes like blomp. And then I expected it to roll into Star Force, because those two series are actually in the same not plane, but the same timeline. Like, they directly link into each other. Nothing. It was weird. You could have just done a really easy sort of vague thing. Show Lan older and he develops the Star Force technology. I don't know. You could have done something. But I also miss Luna, man. I love the Luna character of Mega Man Star Force, but I also have a penchant for snooty blondes who will be mean to me. Like, that's just who I am. How many times have you heard me rant and rave about how much I would just get down on one knee for Florence Pugh right now? Yep. Mega Man was Tokyo Pop and then went to VizKids. Okay, that would make sense. Everybody was trading licenses around that time, and nobody really knew what to land on. I would be interested now to go back and look at my volumes, because obviously if it jumped, we would have different, just like the publisher logo. Not complete redesigns, but just instead of the Tokyo Pop, or instead of the VizKids, just the red and white lettering, you would have the little funky alien dude with headphones. So, yeah, see, okay. Timon is with me. Bass would never say bass. I know, it's so weird. It makes more sense once you realize, yeah, everything is supposed to be, whatchamacallit, music related, right? Like rock, blues, like rock and roll. Then you have blues, who is Proto Man. Then you have bass, you have treble. Then, even in Japan, bass's name is forte, which is treble and forte, right? Like the musical clefs. And it's, yeah, I don't like it. It still is weird to me, Timon, but I guess that's what it is. Look, Timon, I was a young, Timon says, being social, who has the time and patience for that? Look, I was a young man, all right? I was young, I was dumb, I thought the world was ahead of me, I thought I could do anything. I know now that I've wasted my life making friends and not playing video games, because now my backlog just continues to grow and 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 grow. Let's see. Shinkai says he's watched all of this. He's ready to. He needs to still watch Beast Plus and Star Force. He will watch it somewhere, sometime within the next 10 years, whenever he gets around to it. I feel that statement like in my core, my friend. We know it's music. What did I just say? I said it makes sense, and I get it. I just don't like it. Just doesn't sit right with me. It's a weird thing to me. Do you remember? It's like with Guardians. Remember? Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy 3. There in that movie, you have Cosmo, the Soviet space dog, and in the movie, James Gunn gender swapped him to do a sort of tribute to Laika, the Soviet dog that we shot up into space. She was female. So he's like, all right, I'm going to make Cosmo that. You know, he wasn't saying Cosmo was Laika, but he was saying, like, I'm doing this to tribute that dog. Sure. We all know I would bet dollars to donuts that James Gunn is just as Reddit doggo brained as like me and Andrew, right? Like it's one of my worst qualities. I get it. It's cringe. But you put a dog, and I'm just like, I will do anything. I will lay down my life for that dog. What's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine meme where they bring the puppies into the office, and she's like, I've only known him for a few hours, but I would kill for him. Pretty much me with any dog, but shorten it to like couple seconds. But, oh shit, where was I going with that one? Oh man, I was going to talk about something. Wow, I totally bombed on that one. Music themed, makes more sense. Oh, right, Laika. So that's the movie version. In the comic books, Cosmo is a dog, or duh, Cosmo's a male. And the 2008 Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning run of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Annihilation era of the cosmic Marvel scene, that was a really big, I love, like, it's pretty monumental to me, I guess. Like, I read it at this time when, I was still focused primarily on just the capes, the tights, the Spider-Mans, your Daredevils, your Captain Americas. And so I started reading Annihilation, and I got this giant space thing, which at the time, we weren't getting any new Star Wars, right? Like, well, we were getting EU stuff, but we were years out of, we might have actually just been in the middle of that's what it was. We were in the middle of the Star Wars prequels, and Attack of the Clones had came out, and even as a kid, I just did not like that movie. So I was like in this sour mode. When I started reading Annihilation, I was like, oh, this is like the space adventuring I want, like the Han Soloing, the trekking around the universe. Like, it was so good. But, from reading that, I had Cosmo as a male in my head. I knew the change was coming. I knew that, going in to watch it, that it was coming. I knew I was fine with it. I was like, I get it. It's not, again, am I really going to get mad about the gender swapping of Cosmo the dog? We got to learn to pick our fights, right? Not everything deserves 4 million articles from Bounding Into Comics or 70 videos with the screeching lib that every idiot uses. Not everything needs that. So I knew it. I went in, and it still bugs me, guys. Like, it's a personal thing, but I'm like, Cosmo should be like honestly, Cosmo should be more in personality and speech like Alexei, the Red Guardian from Black Widow and Thunderbolts. That is like perfect for Cosmo, and that's what I grew up with him thinking. So that's it, right? Like we all have these things where I get it. I know you're right, and I am fully on your side. It just feels weird coming out of my mouth. Timon says, only in stupid English, 2 words written the same way sound differently. Which word are we talking about here? What did I skip there? Let's see. Andrew says, I agree that Cosmo shouldn't have been swapped, but I still genuinely loved Cosmo in the movie. That's exactly it, right? Like, I understood it. It was a good, they didn't change anything to the character, really. It was fun. She was cute. It was just like, this feels like just so wrong to me. Like, what's going on in my, we have so many of these, Timon, bass and bass. Like, of course, now the English major, when he says we have a bunch of that, he totally blanks on it. But yes, the English language is very, very bad about dual meanings, dual definitions, saying it in a different cadence. I know for my English speakers out there, when we see other languages, especially things like Japanese or Chinese, we get really intimidated and we go, how the fuck do you do that? Especially because literally one pseudo-syllable changes the entire definition from like, oh, how's it going, volume dealer? Nice to see you tonight. To like, volume dealer, I'm going to fucking stab you and I'm going to run off with like your wife. Like that. Yes, it seems daunting and that is true, but everybody I know who has learned English as a second language is like, this is the hardest fucking language because you are way too contextual and you're culturally contextual too. And they just get super, super confused. And so I never make fun of anybody for going, English is stupid. I go, oh, trust me, buddy. I got a degree in it and I think it is absolutely stupid. Volume dealer, not okay. Oh shit, maybe he's luring me in. He's like, okay, and he's putting the bullets in, right? Like shame. This is fine. Yes, exactly. That's actually the one of the ways I've heard it put, Timon. Like from a lot of my Filipino family who came over, English is the language of exceptions, not rules, and it drives them bonkers. Okay, so we've caught up with the chat. Let's start talking about some things. First off, before we even dive into anything, I want to show you guys this cover because, as you guys know, DC is currently crossing over with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a pretty standard crossover, nothing really to write home about. Or let me rephrase that. It's a pretty standard crossover, very enjoyable, very fun. Go watch last night's foil variant to get more of my read and Andrew's on this, and also hear us go into super omega, like actually nerd. Like, go check out last night's episode. But it is not. It's your standard kind of crossover, right? Like, it shows off everybody, kind of just touches on them on the surface. It's really just about them all being in the same panel. Maybe if they do a sequel, maybe like Clone Geek was saying last night, if they do a sequel, maybe they'll get more into like the character, like the explore what you can do with these characters and these settings. But for the time being, it's doing what it honestly should do. You shouldn't really go out the gate with a crossover like this, trying to dig deep into everything. You kind of just got to like ease everybody back into it. So this Wednesday, the third issue dropped. And as you know, me and Andrew, we are always on top of our variant covers. We love pre-ordering them. We always pre-order them. We love, reading the solicits and seeing what's coming. We're normally on top of it, even to the point where it's like Andrew will text me or I'll text him and go, oh, hey, man, my shop is out of this cover. I was looking for it. And the other guy goes, I got you. Don't even trip. This Wednesday, I went to the comic book shop to pick up a couple issues, and I saw the cover I'm about to show you sitting on the shelf. Now, I'm stunned by this because neither me nor Andrew, both huge Sonic fans, Flash fans, Sonic Adventure 2 specifically fans, and comic book fans, we would have been on top of this. But I checked when I got home, even Previews World didn't have an image of this up. Like, you go to a retailer, right? Like, go to Midtown Comics, go to Golden Apple Comics, you try to find it, the listing is there and you'll probably get it, but you have no idea what the image is. But, so I went into the shop and I saw this bad boy staring right back at me. It is, I leaned the wrong way. It is Serge Acuna's variant cover to issue 3, where Sonic, Shadow, Batman, and the Flash are recreating the Sonic Adventure 2, like, what do you call it? Logo, cover, main artwork, key art, key visual, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I love this. Like, I couldn't stop staring at it when I saw it at the shop, and I didn't realize what about it I liked so much. And Andrew opened my eyes and he's like, dude, it's the Sonic Adventure 2 cover. And I went, that's why I'm on top of it. That is what I love. So just a quick, cool cover I wanted to show you guys. I figured with knowing who the general age of my audience, the general interest of my audience, some of you guys might be interested in picking that up. So I just wanted you all to know about it and get that out there. Oki is here. Oki says, hi, Mav and chat. How's it rolling? Well, my friend, it's rolling even better now that we have an extra wheel on this crazy-ass wagon. Happy to have you. We are just about to get into some, well, a quick little topic, a quick mini topic, and then we'll be getting into the chunk of the show. So, yes. Oh, shit. They're mirroring each other with the SA2 cover and forming an X for... Oh, my God. I didn't even... Yep, there it is. Like the hedgehog or fucking mirror, like shadow up to Sonic, and then Wally in Barry suit, unfortunately. Art, probably an art edict from DC, and then Surge and everybody was like, it's gonna be like, be quiet. Or Ian was like, it's gonna be Wally, be quiet. And then yeah, Wally and Batman. That's awesome. Did you also notice, Andrew? They are, well, obviously the Flash is, but Batman's in his Rebirth era suit, like with the one with the purple palms. That's like my favorite standard bat suit outside of the... Do you guys count it 80s or 90s? The one where he's got the more blue hood with the yellow logo? For me, it kind of like goes on the border there. I feel like that was like Batman 88. And then with the movie coming out, that's when they started going more black. But yeah. You saw it too. But yeah, the purple palmed Batman with just like the logo and then the slight yellow outline over it and no trunks. I think it really, like, I love that look for Batman. Trunks off, like Batman can take his trunks off. Superman must always have trunks. That is my rule if I am going to go to DC and be their editor-in-chief. I couldn't do a worse job than Dan Didio. Like, let's be real, guys. The man, stop letting people who are going through midlife crises handle our superheroes. So, let me pull up this link. He come to town. Did I not? Oh, I didn't bookmark it. I probably just retweeted it then. Yes, I did. Let's bring this bad boy up. Right, Oki? If you're doing the blue suit, like, you have to do the red trunks. Like, obviously, I wouldn't want the black Kryptonian suit, the revival suit. I wouldn't want that to have red trunks, nor would I want his Superman red or blue look, which I know everybody probably heard that and reacted like, Superman red blue. One, I personally just I like the design. And two, I actually reread that story last year, like all the way through every tie-in issue. Not as bad as we remember, guys. Genuinely not as bad as we remember. It's one of those cases where I think everybody reacted negatively to it in the 90s because that was the era where it was the end of the era, but that was when we were still like, I trust that what is happening in the comic is going to be the status quo. Like, that's going to be the big change. So then, you go, oh, this is Superman red, blue. We're doing this entire crazy thing. I can see how a lot of fans would react negatively to it. But being in the future, knowing that all of these big status quo changes always get reverted, and also living in the aftermath of it with all the amazing stories we've gotten since, I would recommend go if you're in the mood for some good Superman, check those series out. I don't mind. Andrew says, I don't mind the no trunks on Rebirth suits, but the trunks are classic. What the hell is the Rebirth Batman suit? Because I can only really think of the or Superman Rebirth suit. Because I can think of the New 52 where he has the armor, but okay, yeah, this one. Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm pulling it up, guys. I'm just trying to grab it. This will be a fun one for our boy Tehillim if he is still around. We are going straight to the source for him. Let's see. Web talk. Go! Did we jump to the right window? We did! Yes. This is the Rebirth suit. It's literally just like the main suit without the trunks. It's fine. It just, from an artist perspective, it's too much of a, like, there's not enough, the flow isn't right. You need that red to break up the big giant blue of the torso and the giant blue of the legs, especially because the blues are so stark. If they were darker, like that new 52 suit, you could get away with this more. But because they're so bright and they're so out there, you need that red to sort of give people the ability to like actually understand what they're seeing. The added red from the trunks balance better. Bingo, got it in one. That is exactly where I'm going from. Again, guys, Andrew is the Mav whisperer. He's able to take all of my ADHD bullshit and go, oh, did you mean this 2-sentence term? He also is very, very super smart, and he can get the secret Easter eggs hidden in every comic book. Did you guys know X-L from the last issue of the Superman series is Lex backwards? It's crazy. And that's not a dig at Andrew, that's a dig at me. In case you guys weren't watching Foil Variant, which again, go subscribe, hang out with us on Thursdays, or catch us in the VOD. Link is down below, but also you can throw that in the search bar, and it is that's all it is. Foil Variant. No rigmarole around it. But we were reading through that, or not reading through that issue, we were discussing that issue on our stream, and I was, referring to XL, which is a clone that Mercy has made of Lex Luthor, and I was like, XL, and then at one point I went, oh man, Andrew, did you realize this? Like, XL is Lex backwards. I thought it was just a Krypton, like they were doing like X, like an experiment with a Kryptonian name. And Andrew, I almost lost him as a friend that day. Like, I saw the disappointment in his eyes. It was the same disappointment that my like super conservative evangelical end of the world father like gave me when I both told him I had already had like premarital sex, and when I showed him I had a tattoo, right? Like it was that level of disappointment. I almost lost him. Yeah, that's what it was, Timon. It was an XOF Fox situation, but I just completely imagine if you were playing Metal Gear Solid 4 with, or is it 4? I guess it gets crazy, but it's mainly in 5 when they do XOF. Imagine playing that with somebody, and then like 5 hours in, they go, XOF is Fox. It's like they're the bad version of Foxhound, and all of us would go, were you paying attention at all? Are you okay? Are you brain damaged, as Ramona Flowers would say? So complete side note, just because you brought up Metal Gear Solid, the trailer, I am not personally excited for the Delta remake because it looks fantastic and it looks like they're going to be doing a good job. However, I think they lost the soul of it because they moved away from the piss filter and the like specific graphical choices Kojima made. However, if you guys saw the new intro video, they might have changed it since the last trailer, and they might have brought back that aesthetic. So if they brought back that same aesthetic, Cold War, Soviet, look to everything, I might cry. Like, I might go, this is the greatest game of all time. MGS3 is one of my top games of all time. It's one of the few that I try to replay every year or every other year. It's the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games, the Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5, and Final Fantasy 7, and Mega Man Legends 1. Like, those are the ones I try to run through pretty often because I just love them so much. If they make this new 3 perfect, I might cry. It might be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But back to the topic at hand, or the topic we were going to jump into, our mini topic for the night. This is what Volume Dealer asked me on Twitter. He said, I was mentioning how the the kaiju had an exploding chest and blue slime, but it didn't include how 80s that was. So what he is referring to is probably one of the highlights of my week. This makes me so happy. So on Twitter, I did share this. We have a legitimate toy commercial for the Superman movie. Check this out. Oh, that's too low. I don't think you guys are hearing anything. My desktop audio bar slid down to negative 33 decibels. We would have never heard anything for the rest of our lives. What is that? Let's see. Oh, that's why. That is why. Okay. Is this going to work better? And let's turn it up. Don't worry, guys. I will restart. We'll go back to the top. So yeah, James Gunn's Superman movie. We talked about it last week. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I know I was super jazzed about it. I'm ready for it to be good. And I will take my Fell For It Again award if it isn't. But everything I'm seeing from that trailer, if they can land that, we've got a good Superman movie. Maybe not a good DCEU, considering the mess that is the production going on behind the scenes, but at least a good Superman flick. And don't worry, Volume Dealer, I totally followed you there. I hate autocorrect too, and from one guy who texts a lot while like walking around and stuff to another, my heart goes out to my autocorrectors. So for my younger viewers, I don't really know how, YouTube doesn't tell me these many viewers were 12 or whatever, and I wouldn't trust those numbers anyway, because everybody fucking lies in their profile, like when they're creating an account, so that they don't get any restrictions, blah, 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 blah. So for the younger viewers out there, you won't know this, but back in the 90s, probably to the 2001, 2002 edge, we used to get full-on commercials for toys on television. Obviously, yes, it's a cynical capitalism thing where they're trying to advertise to kids and they want your money, because that's how a business works, right? Like, it's capitalist, but you can't really get mad at them for just kind of doing what it does. And it wasn't always for big things. It wasn't just for Batman Forever or Batman and Robin or X-Men 1 or Spider-Man 1. You would get toy commercials for whatever comic book line they were putting out. Do you guys remember there used to be this trend in the 90s where in order to sell more toys, the toy lines would make just like random ass variants of characters, like Snow Rescue Batman or like Scuba Strike Spider-Man, like weird things like that. We used to get commercials for those weird things too. However, as times change, people, with the internet and video games, I know I sound super boomery, but companies learned, like, okay, our audience is sort of going elsewhere. Let's chase them there. And I think we've all sort of, even if aren't conscious of it or even really care, over the past, let's say, decade, we've seen a very, very, very sizable shift in the demographic of toys from children to adult collectors. There is nothing wrong with, I want to make this clear before we continue, nothing wrong, guys, with collecting figures, collecting toys. If you like it, fucking do it. I could show you, I won't do it right now because my room's a goddamn mess, but you guys know, I collect a zillion and 4 different toys. I'm trying to collect all of the Common Rider, the main Rider SH Figuarts right now. I totally, some of my best childhood memories were going, 16, 17 years old, hopping in my friend Matthew's car and going toy hunting because we heard, somebody on MySpace randomly posted that they saw Optimus, like the Voyager Optimus Prime at this Walmart. Let's go. Like, maybe we can find our own. So what I'm saying isn't a shame thing. It's more just these are the facts of the matter. We've seen rises in things like the McFarlane line. We've seen Hot Toys take off, the SH Figuarts I was just mentioning. And all the, that's good. That's fine. Chase your audience. But you're missing out on a big sector there, which is kids, which is, action figures, dress up accessories, masks, whatever it's going to be. And every time they've really tried to relaunch, do a toy line or market a toy line to kids, they kind of just miss the mark. They don't, I call it the secret wars problem, right? As I've explained before, hey, Corey, damn, I thought we would be running up closer together. He's calling it a night. Take it easy, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. Hopefully I will hear from you Sunday night if the community stream is happening and I get to watch you kick everybody's ass. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I won't be watching next week. I'll be in in Dallas. Annoying Andrew in person. First of all, I'm giving Corey like the unofficial pass through the internet. You are my representative. Please annoy the shit out of him. Please make him regret ever being friends with me. But also, have fun. And also, what he is talking about, guys, is Fan Expo Dallas is next weekend. The Ripa crew is exhibiting. I'll let you guys know all more about that when we are wrapping up. But take it easy, my friend. And thanks for hanging out. And yes, make sure this happens like constantly when you are in his presence. Just, offer to buy, I will foot the bill if you like go throughout the con and just buy like one Tom King comic and bring it to him. And then you go out and you find another Tom King comic and you just bring it back to him. I will foot the bill for that, my friend. Anyway, so the Secret Wars problem. You guys have heard me talk about this before. In 2015, when Marvel was doing their actual Secret Wars event where Doctor Doom became, God Emperor Doom, rewarped the world into his image in the battle world, that series was intended as the first actual reboot of the Marvel Comics line. Remember, DC, they've existed for a long time through the All-Star Squadron comics or all that stuff from back in the day. That's why, as DC was growing and acquiring more of these smaller companies and adding to their roster with things like the Charleston characters or the Shazam family, they eventually had to go, all right, everything is too jumbled. Everything's too kind of fucking messy. Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're going to go full blank slate. Like, this is it. They did that again with New 52, but New 52, I guess you could also call it the New 52 problem because it goes up into the same thing, which is with Secret Wars, they intended, when Secret Wars launched, they canceled every book, only like replaced them all with the Battle World crossover minis, which were all about 5 issues long. And it was supposed to go, boom, we are resetting the Marvel universe. Everybody who wanted to get into the comics from the MCU, here's your new starting point. Old school fans, we're going to do a New 52 thing, but it's not going to be as shitty. That's what they promised. It probably would have been, but you guys know what I mean. However, due to various pressures, both social and editorial, Secret Wars doesn't do a full reset. It goes all the way up to it, and then it blinks and it turns away, and we only get as I have bitched about before, the only real change we end up getting out of Secret Wars is that Miles Morales is a main member of the 616. Like, that's it. That is the only major change. The other ones were Doctor Doom has his face healed, which they've already undone that. And then the Fantastic Four staying outside of reality to make new universes. And they've already, they're already back. They're already hanging out. Hey, what's going on, Dante? Yes, look up in the sky. Actually, look down at the ground because we are talking about a toy line, which is, I'm as surprised as everybody. But that happened, the same thing with the New 52, where they went, all right, we're going to redo, reset, let's do it. But Batman and Green Lantern, we're going to let that keep going. And then that leads into the problem that Andrew and I always like to laugh about, which is by the New 52 timeline, Batman went through all of his Robins in about 4 years, which means Tim dies or not, Jason dies. And he basically goes all right, you got enough, he goes to the pound. He's like, you got another one for me? Stephanie gets completely brutalized. And he just goes, all right, Tim, let's go. It's so bad. And that's what happens. That's the same thing that's happened with these toy lines or these toy efforts. Think of the Walmart line in particular, right? Where they were doing a comic book packaged with a figure, probably about a 6-inch figure or something like that. That was that's a good initiative, cheaper things, package them with comics, get people into it. The problem was they couldn't ignore the collector older demographic. And so a lot of those books and a lot of the characters they chose are deep in lore, or the book they included is part of a giant crossover. And so you pick it up and you go, I am lost. I don't really know. So, okay, I have a toy, but I don't know if I'm really going to want more of this line because I don't really need that comic book, Mom. Just get me the packaged ones that are $7 like that, right? So that, what was I saying there? Gosh. Toy lines. So that's what those toy lines tried to do. And, that when you straddle lines like that, you end up not satisfying anybody. The older fans with money, they weren't happy because it's those are kind of cheap toys and we don't really care about these characters or whatever. The kids went, okay, I don't know anything. I don't really know that character and I don't know that comic. Maybe, the Spider-Man and the Captain America sold, but those didn't. What they should have done is either make your adult collector line and include all of those. Do something like, here is I think McFarlane does something like this, but I'm going to take it a step further. What you should do is you have your adult line where they're cheaper, right? But maybe you have your figure and then get a very special variant like that goes into every run of the figure. And that's going to, get people to go out and hunt and be like, I need to get on the first wave. It's going to start speculation. It's going to make you more money because now you can sell the same figure 4-5 times over. Just, slap a J. Scott Campbell, slap a Peach Momoko on it. Boom, you're moving like units out the door over and over again. For kids, you just include a book that go for the Marvel Age ones, the Marvel Action, the Marvel Rising. Yeah, we don't enjoy them. They're really childish, but that's the point. So what all of that relates to is, Oki says Child Protection Services or Protective Services would have had a field day with Batman. Again, the New 52 Batman timeline is so fucking funny, and it's not supposed to be. Because he literally, goes and trains to be Batman for, 4 months, comes back, year 1 happens. Next year, he gets Dick. After, 3 months, Dick says, okay, I'm going to go be Nightwing. Then you get Jason. Then Jason dies, and then that's where we pick up where I was before, where Batman's just like, okay, hey, Tim, how's it going? Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? Hey, Cassandra, how's it going? And just sort of, throws him out the, window. I mean, yeah, but she's got a new hat, the Malibu Stacy. Batman on that 100% Robin run. I mean, when you normally do these runs, isn't the goal to make sure everybody stays alive? But I digress. Where I was going with that Secret Wars comparison and that toy delving is with Superman, we are now getting a full-on ad campaign for a kid-oriented toy line. So check this out.
Watch out! A giant kaiju monster is destroying the city! This looks like a job for Superman!
Full-on kid hand, using the toy, a full set.
Uh-oh, the kaiju is reloading for a bigger battle. Call in the Justice Gang.
This is pretty cool. We haven't seen this in so long.
Hawk Girl soars in to help Superman save the day. Boom!
Boom!
Time! Superman versus Kaiju Battle Pack. Other figures each sold separately. Superman movie rated PG-13.
Other figures sold separately. I haven't heard that line uttered in a serious a normal capacity on television in fucking ages. No idea. Pardon me. I think, yeah, 0 year has to happen in that time span too. So 0 year happens, that makes it even faster then, right? Thanks, Dante. Yeah, that means if he does 0 year, then year 1, you only have 2 years for him to get through all of his fucking Robins and remember, ending on Damian. You have to go through Tim to Damian in 2 years with every event happening, from Jason's death to his revival to Tim taking some time away after his dad got shot. You have to do all of that. Stephanie getting her super injured on the job. All of that in 2 years. That goes from Batman being I'm trying to do good and the Robins open up my heart to, yeah, let's just fucking throw them out the window right now. I can go buy 700 more of them. Yeah, Andrew says, if I was a kid right now, or if I had a kid right now, I'd get them that set. I assume you're talking about the set of toys, because this is something I wanted to point out. I always these sets, they don't really sell the backgrounds. And back in the 90s, the commercials used to use the canisters from, oh my God, camera film rolls, right? The black canisters. They used to stack them up and shoot a missile into it, and it would all blow up and fall down, all that cool stuff. I always wanted a cool set like that. Never ever, they've never really done it. And I know they're not doing it for this, but it's at least it warms my heart to know another kid is going to have that disappointment, right? He's going to go, oh man, I want that set. I want that toys. And he'll go, oh man, why don't you make that set? But yes, a full-on toy campaign for kids. This just is finally you guys are remembering, don't just chase trends, I guess, or try to appeal to certain niches with the most money. This is this, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if I have the right words to verbalize it, but to me, it reinforces that concept of like Superman is hope. Superman is here to protect everybody. Like all of us can look up to Superman instead of something like Man of Steel, where I don't know a single kid who looked at the Man of Steel suit and went, that is the coolest version of Superman. They like colors. They really do. And then also, as you, or Volume Dealer says, so where did kaiju come from? I don't know. Or so here's where my take on the kaiju is. I'm pretty sure the kaiju is just your opening like movie moment thing. Here's how I think it plays out. I think kaiju is how you open the film. You get your Superman going full fucking throttle and like going into being able to like kick its butt. Then after, like immediately after like beating this, he's gonna hear something, or he's gonna get like an alert, or maybe hear a news report that the war is starting over in the Middle East, and that's gonna lead him, like he's gonna jump right from there to there, and that's gonna be part of the like, I was trying to help people, I was trying to do good. I remember the Alien versus Predator toys in the 90s. Again, that's what I was saying, like a couple seconds before you jumped on. That was like the last era companies really made toy lines for kids. So that's what I think is happening with the kaiju. That aside, as you pointed out, Volume Dealer, I love the 80s-ness. Like, yeah, he probably kills the kaiju. Something happens. He bleeds blue slime. That's pretty cool. That's comic booky. That's very, very 80s. I'm really, really happy that Gunn is leaning into what we like about the comic book Superman. I've been saying this around a couple places lately because Superman has been on the brain, but they always point out in the meta of DC that like if you go to Gotham, you fight, like you could get stabbed, you could get murdered. You're dealing with actual legitimate like psychopaths and crazy people. But if you go to Metropolis, yeah, you don't have to deal with that, but you've got crazy aliens, you've got monsters coming out of the ocean, you've got super powered, apes, you have Titano rampaging down the street every other Tuesday. So I just love that. That's what to me, that's what it's reinforcing. It's like, this is Metropolis. This is what they would have to suffer through. So, poor kaiju, he was just misunderstood. Don't worry, we will probably get a 12-issue miniseries written by Tom King delving into the kaiju's backstory and explaining why he is actually just the most unfortunate lad of all time. Oh, man, okay. Andrew sent me something. I'll have to get into that with him because that looks so super fucking cool. Well, I'll talk to you. So, let's see. With that, that's really all I had to say about this commercial. I just wanted to highlight it. Again, credit where credit is due. This is awesome. I would love to see more of this. Re-engage younger kids in superheroes and comics and all that fun stuff. Anything that helps the medium, like this, like in a good way, instead of trying to like rewrite it all, I'm always going to get behind. Superman versus Godzilla 2-pack? Did you send that too? I didn't see that. Is that from a McFarlane thing? I feel like that's gonna be a McFarlane thing, and I feel like that's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. All right, let me first, before we get into the DMC of it all, as a few folks have been pointing out, and as I have been neglecting to explain. Oh, come on. Why won't you go for me? Work with me here. Our stream buddy tonight is none other than my beautiful waifu, my girl, Jubilee. She is finally getting an Art Germ cover. She's never gotten one before. Andrew showed this to me a couple hours ago. It is for Uncanny X-Men 19. Again, if you guys haven't heard from us, one of the best series being published right now. It's probably going to go down, if Gail Simone can stick the landing, might go down as one of the best X-Men runs in a very, very long while. But Art Germ is finally getting his beautiful talents on my beautiful girl. I'm so excited for this. I might even go like full on, get me the seat, like not anybody out there, but like I might go and get myself the like CGC slabbed, whatever I need to do, because these moments don't come very often. Like a Jubilee one, and if he ever does a Scarlet Spider one, that one will probably see me like, remember like Black Fridays in the 2000s where like fat old ladies would like run over children and just not care? You do an Art Germ Scarlet, I I am doing that. If you say, oh, here's the Return of Scarlet Spider, and it's being written by Tom DeFalco with pencils by, I don't, at this point, like anybody, Marquez, Peach, Hickman, or Chichetto, whatever, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. Absolutely, Timon, I will always be a simp for my girl Jubilee. Have been ever since the 90s cartoon. When Lana Condor played her in Dark Phoenix, not a really, or was it Dark? Yeah, Dark Phoenix, not a really good movie. Kind of a shit movie all around. But she was like, I already had a crush on Lana Condor going into that. But then she was great as Jubilee for the 3 seconds they let her do anything. But I was just happy to see her. Yeah, squeeze toy here. Like, even flat is justice, my friends. Let's just put it that way. Flat is justice. At least in this humble dork's opinion. Oh shoot! This is what Andrew was talking about. That's cool. Oh man, Godzilla versus Superman. Oh, and it like actually can. Oh, does it come with like 2 things? That's. Oh, I don't know. Either way, I like sets like these. I like how he's like just delicately balancing right there. Again, I don't collect the McFarlane line, but I do recognize that like these are pretty damn good toys. Or yeah, they're pretty good. I would say some of them are hit or miss. 1 second, guys. I've got to shoot a text really quick to check on something. Okay, let's see. Okay, it comes with both of them. That's okay. I really like that then. You get the mini one to do this display, and then you get this fighting one for them to go at it. Okay, I can definitely get behind that. Oh man. Timon says, if they make a Jubilee dressed as Miku, drawn by Peach Momoko, Spencer will have trouble cleaning his PC setup. Dude, I will go full. Let's just say, if you guys have seen the episode of South Park where the internet goes out and Randy tries to sneak some personal time with the little internet they have, that's going to be me if that ever happens. Like, you can ask Andrew. He sent that to me, and my first response was, holy fuck, to him, and I immediately went and retweeted it, and I just was like, oh my God. There are certain things that will always get us, right? Like, you put Supergirl on something, Andrew's there. You put Jubilee on something, I'm going to be there. Sometimes we pick up bad books, like Supergirl #1. But we got to show out for our girls. All right. Now, let's get into the topic du jour, if you will. Let me grab the link really, really quick. Okay. Now, who here remembers that earlier this year, we got a Netflix animated series based on Devil May Cry? Who else remembers that we talked about it on the show? And who else remembers, on top of that, that it was fucking terrible? Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to go into all of it. You can go check out our episode of Good Mad Ugly where I reviewed it. Dante is in the thumbnail. Actual Netflix Dante. That way, you will be able to land on it. Don't worry, Andrew. I know my branding or my presentation. So, yeah, the series is not good. It is a real big bastardization of what Devil May Cry is. And I say this as somebody, again, Devil May Cry is one of my favorite video game series of all time. Devil May Cry 3 in particular is probably top 3 video games for me of all time. From its mechanics to everything you can unlock to the challenges to the story. I love that game to death. It was one of those games I played and it sort of not like relit a fire in me for video games, but gave me like this level up appreciation for video games, right? Where I started, instead of just seeing them as sort of this entertainment product, I started seeing the craft. I started seeing what real gameplay, like tweaks and all of that stuff meant. So when I watched Devil May Cry, I was very much like you completely missed the mark. In fact, this show is what really launched me into thinking about and developing my ongoing thesis, I guess, of the different, what is the difference between engaging with something and consuming something? If you consume something, you end up with something like this, like with the Devil May Cry animated series, where it's clear, yeah, maybe Adi does I will not deny that Adi Shankar loves the Devil May Cry series and all of that Capcom stuff. I don't doubt that. However, when we look at what he did with the show and he goes, what did I take away from Dante? Crazy, wacky Dante. Dante's a demon. Dante fights with a sword and gun. These are base level sort of surface things. You're not really understanding why Dante is doing all of this stuff, why he's getting cocky, right? I pointed this out when they first dropped the preview. There is a scene where Dante is, a bunch of demons flood in from, don't even get me started on the whole hell thing. Again, just go watch the episode, or my episode. There is a scene where a bunch of demons are descending upon whatever, I think it's like, is it New York? It's a real city or something, but they're descending on New York, and Dante goes out and he saves one woman from being killed by a bunch of Reapers. And after he does, she's like looking up at him in shock, and he's standing there and he's like, you know, I would have said a cool one-liner right about now. Hold on a second. Okay, maybe this one. Hey, Skeletor, like, you've seen better days. Not my best work, but at least I tried. Like, that's not who Dante is. Dante's not the attention seeker. He's not the kind of person who does this so that you look at him and go, oh, that Dante is so goofy. Dante does his aloofness and his goof because he is fucking immortal. And he knows, like, I'm bored. I'm not going to die here. I'm probably going to win. What are we doing? Like, I showed you guys the clip from the beginning of Devil May Cry 3 where he gets ambushed by 3 Reapers, and that, like, he does all of the, like, kind of like the definition things for his character in that moment. He's eating a pizza. They try to attack him, and he does this awesome flip where he, like, grabs his sword out of the air. He rides them around while he's doing his, I forget that, like, jackpot. He kills one of, like, he picks up the pool ball table, or the pool table, and shoots the cue ball into one of them to kill him. And then he goes over to his jukebox and, you know, pushes it, and it doesn't work. And, you know, he hits it again, and that's when he goes, let's rock. That's because he's doing that for him. Think about, we all do this, right? You're walking around, you're hanging out at home. Like, for example, I'll just start saying random dumb things to my my dogs. The other day, I was playing Fortnite, and I had to get up to get a drink. And while I was, you know, away from my desk, like hanging with my dogs, walking through the house, I was talking to them like Emperor Palpatine. Not because I wanted anybody to go, oh, you know Star Wars, or, oh, you're so funny, but just because it was amusing to me. I'm sure my dogs didn't give a shit. They probably were distressed as, like, why is Master not sounding like himself? So, yeah, Timon. It is narcissism at its best. I think, like, I know you're talking about Adi, but that also is kind of that does apply to Dante, like Netflix Dante and actual Dante, where, like, Netflix Dante is very much just like, I'm a narcissist, me, whereas game Dante is kind of like, one thing that makes me, so Andrew points out here, there's a difference between being a fan of what you're consuming and actually understanding what makes it that thing. And that's exactly it, right? Adi, how do I put this? Okay. Adi's Dante is very much a narcissist. It's all focused on him. This is what I don't really have a good way to segue into this point or this factoid, so just deal with Mav's bumpy ADHD ride. It's an established fact that throughout all of his missions, Dante has a lot of collateral damage, right? He's very reckless. He's always throwing his swords. He's flipping. Literally in Devil May Cry 3, he rides a fucking missile like a surfboard, even though he doesn't, to rocket it back into Cerberus. But the Devil May Cry team has, like, put it into canon that the reason Dante's, like, digs are so crappy, like the Devil May Cry shop, why he eats so much pizza all the time, is because he's pretty fucking broke. And he's broke because he personally sees to the restitution of, like, if I broke your business, I'm going to fix it, right? Like, if I hurt you, I'm paying for your medical bills. So every time he gets paid for a job, he pretty much gives it right back. We don't get that Dante around here at all. This Dante is really just your sort of generic rebel punk kid, and it's really not who it is. And that is sort of the core thing here with the Devil May Cry Netflix series, is that Adi Shankar consumed it, and he liked it, definitely, but he didn't understand everything that makes this game what it is. He didn't understand the characters. I won't go too much into it because it'll take us down a rabbit hole. But in the interview we're about to watch, he straight up says, like, yeah, I could have gone with the gothic style for my show, but I really didn't want to do that. I always imagined it like Underworld, and like the blue and black, like dark lighting all the time. And I'm like, I don't even like goth stuff. Like, I'm not even a big fan of goth girls. Like, the heavy makeup stuff kind of is like off-putting to me. But that is like what you do. That gothic cathedrals, gothic architecture, every level is filled with like intricate demon carved pillars and all of this crap. And for you to go, oh, I'm just going to throw that away. He says, and this is where it gives away the game. In the same interview, he says, when I approached this, he genuinely believes that he nailed this adaptation. Like, it's not even an ego thing. He genuinely thinks that he translated it perfectly from the game. In the interview, he straight up says, because I wanted to do this right, because it's such a like established thing, I didn't want to crank up like the Adi Shankar to 11. So I maybe cranked it to 2, and I played on my best behavior. So if that's honestly what your approach was, and what we got was what we got, that just confirms to me that you can like the series, but you are not the right person to handle this character. You are not the one who's going to deliver these stories with them, because it's not in your wheelhouse, man. You are too focused, as we are getting into here, on making a name for himself, right? I feel like most of us here, before even Netflix's Castlevania or Devil May Cry, we knew Adi Shankar from, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up, because it is Adi Shankar. Let's grab that. Let's see. We all probably remember him from this piece of crap. What freaking window am I at? There we go. Back in the day when the whole Apu discourse came out and sort of, started the very big identity politics thing we've been going through.
Excuse me, sir.
A lot of people were getting, Apu was that focal, you can't depict characters like that. That's offensive. Voice actors have to be the same race. And so Adi was not the guy who raised that topic. That was a completely different other dude whose name always escapes me. But he decided he wanted to get in on this, and he makes this.
Cafe, where you can browse all you want for free.
Apu.
Sorry, I realized that was low. Let me bring that up for you guys. There we go.
Welcome. Excuse me, sir, but this is not an internet cafe where you can browse all you want for free.
Apu, why do you still talk like that?
Like what?
I don't know. Sort of like a racially insensitive caricature of an Indian person, fabricated by a bunch of Harvard-educated white guys. How about that?
But Mr. Shankar, people love the way I talk.
Like, this was what he made his sort of name with. He is very much one of those people that Andrew and I talk about over on Foil Variant, who, when they get put on a comic book, they try to, they want to go back and retcon something in Batman's origin or Spider-Man's origin. And it's because they really want to ingratiate themselves. It's a narcissistic thing. They want to go, oh, I should be praised like Frank Miller. I should be praised like Quentin Tarantino. So I'm going to jam myself into this legacy. So even if it's bad, right? Like, for example, we recently, in a issue of Detective Comics from, who is on it right now? Who's on it right now, Andrew, if you're here? Is it Marco? Who's on Detective Comics? Right now, the current writer of Detective Comics, okay, come on, current team, let's do that. It is, never mind, it's even worse. It is even worse. It's Tom Taylor, right? Tom Taylor, Mr. Turn John gay, turn John into an adult, go just make Nightwing into a Tumblr style book. Very, very, he's not a good writer. But now, last month, he revealed that Bruce's dad was the doctor who okayed Joe Chill, like on his psychiatric, like he did a psychiatric approval and said, yep, let Joe Chill out back into the world. He's going to be fine, which, ends up not being fine for the Waynes. Doesn't matter if that was going to be a good twist or a bad twist, or even if he can make it work. Now we can't have a conversation about Batman's origin, which is a very big thing, not just for the character, but in all of pop culture, without going, oh yeah, but remember Tom Taylor also did this, which it might not be great, but we're talking about him now. He is integral to the origin of Batman, and he has made a name for himself. And that is what Adi does here. And, I genuinely tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, or not, let me put it this way. I don't want to say benefit of the doubt, because as soon as I saw he was on DMC, I knew this was going to be bad. As soon as I saw him on Castlevania, I knew that was going to be bad. But I did give, I was sort of in the mindset of like, it's bad and he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's sort of unaware of like how bad he's doing. You know what I mean? Like he's just not getting it. And okay, if that's Netflix's money they want to burn, go for it. But I was like, he's going to do bad work. I don't have to support it. I know it's going to be bad. But you know what? Do your thing, man. Like we've whatever. What is this really? This isn't the point to fight you on, right? Like you believing that you actually had like the passion. I believe you, like I said, you like it. You have that passion. That was until I stumbled upon the article that I had pulled up. I had it a second ago. Where did you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? So, Adi Shankar has a podcast that he hosts weekly, and he invites various guests on to talk about sort of whatever. It's very much almost like GMU format, but with two people. It would be like if Andrew was here with me and we were just shooting the shit. Imagine if he and I didn't talk like every week and every day and every hour. We would, we would catch up and you'd all just sort of hang out and listen to what we had to say. Maybe Andrew talks about Ripa things. I talk about editorial things, stuff like that. Very normal podcast. So, as you can see here in the headline here to this article is Adi Shankar was, quote, unhappy with Devil May Cry 5 because it took spotlight away from his Netflix series. Pause. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that win, all right? Like, I know what I was doing. Adi Shankar was unhappy with Devil May Cry 5 because it took the spotlight away from his Netflix series. Quote, I thought the franchise was dead. I thought I was bringing this thing back. So where this comes from the latest episode of his podcast where he is hanging out with AEW reigning champion Kenny Omega. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I do know Omega because he's actually kind of a big nerd and he talks about it a lot, like on Twitter, on social media, during shows. So, it's just one of those things where you hear in the grapevine, like, oh, this wrestler is a really big fan of Mega Man. You go, oh, that's cool. Don't know anything about him. From the appearance that I watched here on Adi's podcast, he seems like a pretty chill dude. And he actually is like very knowledgeable about what he likes. Unfortunately, he did really love Adi's adaptation, but that could be either, maybe you're blinded by friendship. Maybe you just have bad taste on like one thing. We all have bad taste. Like everybody has something where, again, I don't believe in guilty pleasures and you guys shouldn't either. Like what you like, but we all have that one where we would go, yep, I get it. Okay. Give me the ribbing. I know this is terrible. I know that this is absolutely terrible. Adios, punk. Take it easy. I hope to see you soon, and I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you get to read some more comics. I know you're on a roll making your way through things, and we'll see you very soon, my friend. So, where was I with... Kenny Omega's pretty cool, blah, 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 blah. So, in this podcast, obviously, Kenny gets to talking to him about the Devil May Cry adaptation, and, they get into where, like... what was your approach to it? What did you think about it? What blah, 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 blah. And at one point in the conversation, Adi Shankar goes, he recounts to Kenny Omega, he says, you know what? Funny enough, I actually didn't go into Capcom looking for, to adapt Devil May Cry. So, you guys can check out the article here. It has the entire transcript of everything we are talking about, word to word. I'm emphasizing that as we'll get into for a reason. But let's see. So it is at the 2 hour and 3 minute and 22 second mark. That is now ingrained in my head. So,
charge of it, I'd be like, how do I feature all of the characters?
Let's see.
Balrog versus.
Oh yeah. So they're talking about Street Fighter here. Also, like, look at his shirt. It's a Yakuza Like a Dragon shirt. Again, this man, like, Kenny's a cool guy.
Also find it weird, and that hurts my feeling. Bloodline, the semis.
Devil May Cry to me.
Man,
Okay,
King's
yeah,
actually
so
doing. King did.
This is them talking about like other things going on. Like Adi went and he talked about maybe adapting a bunch of different things like Dino Crisis, Street Fighter. This is them talking about it. I'm gonna let this play. You guys might hear right now, my dogs are howling like crazy. So I'll let you guys watch this next part where he gets into everything. I'm gonna go check on them. I'll be right back.
Very good in that tournament, that particular one. Maybe made it to the semis.
Yeah.
I was like, man, King's actually doing well. That's great.
Yeah, I don't understand how King's not the face of Tekken.
He's
their
so
most-
cool,
right,
man.
he's fucking cool.
He is so cool.
But at the end of the day, Devil May Cry to me was, it's like I have to ignore the numbers, right?
Yep.
I have to ignore the numbers. Like Monster Hunter, you're absolutely right. Numbers-wise, eclipses everything else.
Yep.
But
They're
passionate
talking about
it,
sales
right?
numbers.
Like I
there.
love this thing.
Yeah.
And I love this niche
That's
thing.
the most
And
important
now
thing
I
of it,
can
yeah.
take it and hopefully blow it up to a point where I can expand it and there'll be more of it.
Yep.
Right? So and I didn't know that there was a Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Whoops, I definitely hit my microphone. That was on me, guys. But okay, so now we he's getting into Capcom, his time going there. This is what caught my attention, right? So he's about to recall that when he signed on to this show in 2018 to like begin producing and developing it. That same year, Capcom announced Devil May Cry 5. It was like, let me just check something real quick so I can get my dates right. It was the first Devil May Cry like entry since 10 years like prior. So 2018 DMC 5, 2008 DMC 4. So obviously like kind of a big deal. To be fair to Shankar, he was not aware that there was a new game coming out. That's fine. I totally get that. I can also see how if you think you're going in to adapt something or do a project and they immediately drop a bunch of like new lore and a bunch of new stuff that you have to think about, you would probably be miffed. Like, and you know what? Even justifiably frustrated, like angry, because they didn't tell you. You were probably doing a lot of pre-pro work in your own head, and now a lot of that has to be rewritten, remixed to make it fit into this new thing. That leads to another problem that we might get into like with another day, where when you make a story and then you present it and then somebody goes, oh, I got to retrofit this, I got to retrofit that, make sure this is all here. A lot of your own story can stop making sense. You see that a lot with comic books, with all, Marvel's sliding timeline and all that fun stuff. As Andrew and I talked about last night, there are like 5 Superman books going on where 7 different things are happening that are all kind of contradictory. So I get that. As one creative to another, my heart goes out to you. It's not something that I would go, oh, you were totally right in being, fuck Netflix. But, I go, that's rough, buddy. Like let me buy you a beer. That's rough, buddy. But this is what stunned me, is that he reacted. Okay, how do I put this? Let's let Adi tell you in his own words, okay, how he reacted to the news of Devil May Cry. And I'm going to back it up just like a couple seconds so we can dig back in.
I can take it and hopefully blow it up to a point where I can expand it and there'll be more of it.
Yep.
Right? So and I didn't know that there was a Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
You didn't know?
No.
Wow.
I got
okay.
actually unhappy when they so I signed the deal and I'm like, yeah, great, I'm doing it. And then they're like, good news, we have Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Were you hoping to play it before doing your adaptation? Is that what you're saying? Or you just...
No, I actually thought the franchise was dead.
Oh, I got you.
This was my thing. Like I liked Dino Crisis. I liked
I see.
And I thought I was bringing this thing back, and I'm like, oh, this is like a modern fucking thing. Like this is ongoing. Then I should have done Street Fighter.
Or if you're into like those
Look at Kenny,
types
it's
of
so
things,
cool.
I could see doing a great Rival Schools as well.
Yes.
That would be So
I mean,
sick.
obviously I don't agree that Adi should do rival schools, but unprompted, Kenny Omega knows rival schools, like brings that up, right? So let's get back to that real, so you guys heard it right there. I want to break down a couple highlights from what he says. So the first
Absolutely
is
right. Numbers wise, eclipses ever. Love this niche thing.
That's the most.
And more of it.
Yep.
right here.
So, and I didn't know that there was a Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
You didn't know?
No.
Wow.
I got
okay.
actually unhappy.
Right there. I got actually unhappy. Those are the exact words out of his mouth. Already, you are presenting yourself like, so I even took this to my completely normie mom who knows the things I like the video games and the series, doesn't know jack shit about all of this behind the scenes production stuff, right? So I told her, I kind of presented her with the scenario. If you were hired on to make an animated series about something and you loved it, like it was your favorite thing in the world, or one of your favorite things in the world, and you signed on, and the creators, as soon as you signed on, said, by the way, we've got a new game coming out, how would you react? And my mom, she said, oh, I would actually think that's great. Like, I would be excited as a fan, like I got a new game, and I would think that's a great, like, synergy, like, thing. Like, you advertise DMC5, DMC5 advertises you. That's just sort of how it goes. Like, she's like a marketing, like a god. Like, she's very, very top in like a corporate, like she knows what she's talking about. And that's sort of like the read I walked away with, right? Which is like, if I heard that, yeah, I might, like I said, I get going, oh man, I had so many plans. But if I loved a franchise, I want to see it come back, especially with how they announced DMC5, where it looked fantastic from the jump. They were clearly putting in the effort, and it was all the original team, including like Ruben Langdon was coming back, or Daniel Southworth, all of them. I would go, hell yes, right? Kind of like, for example, we know, or at least on my end, I know that DC has been kind of generally shitty with their movies. In general, superhero movies have gotten really bad, and even further, franchise movies have gotten really, really bad. But when I see the Superman trailer, and I see all the effort and love being put into it, I go, yeah, the DCEU might not be good, and I might get burned, but hey, this is cool. Like, let's go Superman. This is what I want to see. So right off the bat, that you're telling me you reacted to that unhappily in any capacity, or enough to make that your leading sentiment, tells me you had a different motive in mind when making the series. So we'll get here.
When they so I signed the deal.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, great,
he might
I'm doing
be.
it. And then they're like,
Tomorrow.
good news, we have Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Were you hoping to play it before doing your adaptation? Is that what you?
So I also want to note this again. Shout out to Kenny Omega. Kenny gives him an out. Kenny straight up gives him an out to explain himself, right? I know, like, look at Kenny's face when he said
5 coming out.
Were you hoping to play it before?
Like, you can see he's like, is there like a good explanation for this? And he gives him, did you just want to play it to get inspiration? And we get this.
Doing your adaptation, is that what you're saying? Or you just...
No, I actually thought the franchise was dead.
Oh, I got you.
This was my thing. Like, I liked
right
Dino
here.
Crisis.
I see.
And I thought I was bringing this thing back, and I'm like, oh, this is like a modern fucking thing. Like, this is ongoing. Then I should have done Street Fighter.
Or if you're into like.
So that's the thing, right? He explains that his unhappiness stemmed from the fact that he thought the franchise was dead, and he was bringing it back. You all out there, and if maybe you didn't, and I'd love to hear if maybe you think I'm off base, but I walked away from that conversation, that exchange, going, that sounds like Adi Shankar, the man who we know is very narcissistic about everything, very much someone who changes his opinions and standings with the tide. Like, this is just gonna be a quick side note, we don't have to get into it, but for example, I've shown that picture before. Let me see if I can find it. It's so bad. Everybody, if you've seen it, you probably know what I'm pulling up. But in case you haven't, whoops, I didn't mean to click away from that. Let's pull this off. Oh, great! This is even a tweet that will help explain what's going on. So back in the first Trump, like Trump 1, this was Adi. I'm brown. Are you going to arrest me too? Wearing like really over the top fucking makeup. He even explains in that interview or in the podcast that when he was in the office talking to Capcom, he was dressed like a Devil May Cry, like in his own words, I was dressed like a Devil May Cry character. So he's very much like, attention to me, flashy me, but also like, look at me, I'm on this supportive side, right? I'm brown, are you going to arrest me? As soon as Trump 2 came in, he not only cozied up to Dr. Adi Shankar here, who was he scammed a bunch of people in a medical scam, and Trump gave him a pardon. But he's a big guy over in India, so Adi went, okay, I'm gonna like jump right on you. He also got he went to the Trump inauguration, which like, again, like you guys can probably know this. When we were going into Trump 2, I was like, this is gonna be stupid all over again, but it's gonna be whatever. However, as things, he's off the rails now. He's just as senile as Joe Biden, and we are going into, this is probably the darkest, like a big stain on the American soul right now. But at the time, if you are truly, truly someone who thinks Trump is bad, you don't just, and again, you don't just, like if everybody's saying like, this is going to be bad, I know this is bad, especially for immigrants, all this stuff, so you then go to his inauguration? Like that's what you're going to do? And then, right, like, so this, clearly with this photo, we can see the crowd he's appealing to, the very virtue signal, performative activist crowd. Nowadays, he's trying to cozy up to the anti-woke, quote, like the anti-woke people, right? Asmongold he directly referenced Asmongold in Devil May Cry and made him like the only truth teller of any media personality. If you guys know Asmongold, fuck that guy. Like, he's not that smart. He's kind of a big idiot. I'm also not going to take advice from a guy who literally has cockroaches crawling over him when he's live streaming. We all deserve better, like, figureheads, role models, people at the front. He's like, again, we've talked about this. I could get into it, but, yeah, so like Adi goes to he puts Asmongold in the show. Melanie Mack yesterday, who we all know how we all feel about, her ridiculous performative Christianity, she got sick, I guess, and she made a post like, oh, I'm sick, I'm getting over it. Adi is like replying to her and being like, oh, I'm so sorry, like you're not feeling good, feel better. He's just a guy who will go on whatever side is going to get him attention or do whatever gets him attention. So when I hear those words from the podcast that I was unhappy with DMC5 and I thought I was going to be bringing it back, I thought this thing was dead. Given everything we know of Adi, I and a lot of people, as you may have seen on social media, walked away with this going, you clearly were pissed that DMC5 was reviving the franchise because you wanted to be that guy who everybody would go, we didn't have a new Devil May Cry, but now Adi like brought it back. Thank you, Adi. Like Adi saved Devil May Cry. That's what you wanted. You didn't want to actually tell a good story or, adapt it for the fans or even for the game. You wanted to adapt it for your name. Like you wanted to be the savior of Devil May Cry, and you got pissy that didn't happen, right? I have not met a single person so far who has given me a genuine, like a believable opposite read of this interaction. I've even sat people down, and I'm obviously trimming everything we're looking at because it's a lot of jumping around in this conversation. But I've showed friends the entire, like I've cut up the entire thing about him talking about Devil May Cry. Everybody has like said the same thing, right? And by cut up, just to clarify before anybody tries to get a stupid gotcha, I mean edited the clips together of that conversation with full context, not leaving anything out. All proper transitions are in there. I just cut out the things where they're talking about, how was Adi's day last week? Nobody really cares about that. It doesn't add to the conversation. Exactly, Oki. This is where we are about to get into. Let a man speak long enough, and eventually he'll tell the truth. So, on that note, so obviously I wrote the story, right? I took to bounding immediately because DMC, Adi, I gotta call you out. You ruined something I really love. two things. I love Castlevania, and you ruined that too. So, again, my headline, Adi Shankar was, quote, unhappy with Devil May Cry 5 because it took spotlight away from his Netflix series. I thought the franchise was dead. I thought I was bringing this thing back. That is my headline. Now, regardless of whether my conclusion that he was upset that it took the spotlight away from his show is correct, we all just saw and heard him say those exact words. I was unhappy with Devil May Cry 5 because I thought the franchise was dead. I thought I was bringing this thing back. To continue, if I'd have known it was this ongoing fucking thing, I would have done Street Fighter. Again, I would give anybody who made the same conclusion the same, knowing Adi, knowing everything he's done and presents himself, that's a pretty accurate read of what he would mean. Now, last night at about 11 p.m., probably about an hour or two after I'd published this article onto the Bounding website, which update, guys, a small brag and an update to everybody and just an insight thing. Ever since I took over from Bounding, we did dip in the initial 6 months because Trent's output is just insane because he doesn't really fact check, he doesn't really do anything but just copy and paste Endymion or whoever is his favorite chuckle fuck of the day. We did dip pretty hard then. However, we are rocketing past anything we ever were with him. We're on all the Discover things. We are on MSN. We are, we're pulling in 2 million views minimum a month. And I just got the outlet approved for San Diego Comic-Con access. So, A, the site's doing pretty well. Adi, there's a good chance he probably just stumbled upon this. And B, remember when John Delarose said Bounding's going to be dead in 6 months and Fandom Pulse is going to be taking over? You guys might have seen, he's back in Bounding's replies being nice and amicable, and it's because his site is fucking failing. But my own little hang-ups aside, if you will, not even hang-ups, my own victory laps. Last night, I shared that article, and surprisingly, so surprisingly that I had to double take that it was actually Adi replying to me, because I was that is his account, but is that, why would he care? So I get a reply from Adi, from his official account, where he goes, this headline is false. Fabricating quotes is not journalism. And he puts, Dr. Evil, journalism, implying I'm doing this all for money. As I said at the top, you can talk shit about our takes. You can disagree with us. You can say, I don't like the image choices. I know I pick a lot of Jubilee and Kamen Rider. But the second you come for our integrity, our work, I will go to the fucking center of the earth for my work and my employees, because I stand by that. I know the concept of integrity and being a dedicated public servant and trying to do right by everybody, to give you guys information is a foreign concept to a lot of people. But that's what, I want from Bounding into Comics. I'm from, that 90s era where journalism still meant something. So I still fall into that mindset. So when I read this and he says this headline is false, fabricating quotes is not journalism, I hit him back. What? Not with that. By the way, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you guys have seen the DM problem on Twitter lately. They're not working right. My notifications and replies aren't working right anymore either. I don't see anybody liking my thing. I don't get notifications for likes, replies. I have to manually go to my timeline and see if there's any interaction. So just a weird thing I've noticed. But I shot, unacceptable to me. So I shoot back, and I'm very polite. Hi, Mr. Shankar. The quote was taken directly from your podcast, as relayed by you at the 2 hour, 3 minute, and 22 second mark, which I clipped and I shared in full 4K, highest definition I could, right there in the tweet. I continued, if you'd like to offer clarification on your statement, we'd be happy to publish it in full, which I absolutely would. Like I said, maybe I did read it wrong. I'm not above taking L's. I'm not above saying, I got that one wrong. I've done it multiple times on Bounding. You can see editor's notes all over the place because, again, I believe in transparency. So I pretty cordially asked him, if you have any, if you have an input, tell, like, A, if you have some, like, if we read it wrong, let us know what you meant. And B, you know, you say we're fabricating quotes, but you're right fucking here saying it. So, you know, this all, when did I retweet this? Oh God, I was up late. So I retweeted that at 2 a.m. I kind of assumed, you know, I know he's probably asleep. I was like, I know I'm up super late. I fixed my sleep schedule, guys. You might notice that, like, I'm more, like, mentally here. But, so I was like, I know I'm up late. He'll probably get back on tomorrow. Whatever. So I went to bed, woke up this morning at, you know, 8 or not, like 7:30, like my normal time. And I looked at my phone. I went, okay, he's not around. And I went, okay, it's still early. So I went and I did my regular stuff, you know, went to the gym, did all my, you know, walked the dogs, took them for their exercise, cleaned my room, took a shower, set up all the GMU stuff. And then, you know, throughout the day, I'm checking and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything from Adi. Even with with the weird reply thing going on, notifications, I went manually and I just kept this page, like this thread open, and refreshed it. And I even kept Adi's page open and was refreshing it. As, you know, I kept doing that and I kept seeing, okay, the most recent tweet was the one he made right after this one, which was him, like, talking to a fan. Again, it's Friday. You got things going on. I'm sure he'll get to it. Adi's too online to, you know, not reply to me or see this, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's out doing something. And so, okay, cool. Volume Dealer says DM's fixed. Wolf says X has been busted for like 2 days. Yeah, it's been not, I mean, it's already not fun to be on the platform, but it's been shit to use over the past couple days. And it makes me mad because, like, I'm in the middle of a justified, like, fight here, and barely anybody saw because the regular, like, feeds went down today, barely anybody has seen the second part of this, which we'll get into. So I let him know. I said, hey, if this is wrong, let me know. But here are the quotes that you said. You can't accuse us of fabricating quotes. And I'm refreshing and I'm looking. And at about, let's see, what time was this that I discovered this? 12:55. I start noticing that Adi is online. He's making new tweets, but he's not replying direct, and he's actually engaging with the thread, but he's not replying to us. He's doing the fucking teenage girl thing where he is, like, I call it emoji replying because it's really hard to communicate this. It's more of like a cultural, like, understanding thing. When young teenagers use just like an emoji thing, like only emojis, it feels like they're blowing you off. It feels like they're being sarcastic. If they're not even giving you like a okay, like, it feels like you're not taking me seriously. Maybe that's just my experience with my younger, you know, cousins and such, and my nieces and nephews. But Adi here, you know, this guy says, does he speak about DMC5 taking the spotlight away from his Netflix series after this somewhere in the podcast? Because he may have a problem with the assumption that headline makes, not the actual things he says. Right? And, you know, blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, your headline is drawing a conclusion he didn't actually make, and that's likely his problem. 3 clap emojis. Again, this dude, this writer from some, like, UK video game news website, what, like, get the fuck back over in the UK. I have no respect for that country at all. You know, he goes, the dude couldn't be more clear, and you're obviously taking it out of context for clicks. He did DMC in the hopes it would breathe new life into the franchise. Turned out a new game was already on the way, so there was no need for that, and he could have just as easily chosen Street Fighter. Where did he ever say that? I ask you guys, and viewers, and anybody watching this, VOD, like live right now, send me an email if you have to. Where did he say, or even imply, that that was what he was upset about? That he was upset that he wasn't going to be, like, like turned out a new game was already on the way. He didn't just want, like, there was nothing about, like, oh, I was disappointed that, you know, all my plans wouldn't be reviving it, and oh well. He was saying, I didn't get to be the one to bring this shit back. There's no implication of, like, he did it in the hopes it would breathe life into the new, like, there was nothing that he said about that. There was no, oh, I was upset because I thought, or I was hoping, or I went into this. And first of all, he already said he was unhappy. You really can't walk that one back. That's like the Freudian slip of Freudian slips if he didn't mean to say it. But yeah, he didn't say anything about like, oh, I was expecting to, try to bring this back to life, and they had 5, and that was awesome. He went, they were doing 5, and now what the fuck am I doing? Earlier in the podcast, he's talking about, franchises he could have adapted, and he says about Street Fighter, I would have done that too, because I also thought that was a dead game. Like, I also thought that was a dead franchise. He's not saying I want to, I was hoping to revive these things. He's saying I wanted to be the guy I wanted to be the guy. The Street Fighter one makes me fucking furious too, because 2018, when he signed on and said, or when he was saying Street Fighter is dead, they had just released Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Like, they were actively, opinions on that game aside, to me it's one of the rougher entries, a little better than 4, but still kind of rough. Regardless of your opinion on it, it was still alive. Capcom was still supporting it. It was still, main staging EVO every day. So to call Street Fighter a dead franchise, and that's what you were, like, you thought, oh, I couldn't do DMC, so I'll go Street Fighter? That just sounds like you went, oh, I should have just, they were bringing that one back. I could have been the guy for this one. I could have done that. And so, that guy says that. Adi replies with a heart. This is all, like, those are the 2 engagements he makes. Or then he says this, like, yes, 100% accurate. Okay, so that guy says, doesn't he speak about taking the spotlight away, blah, blah, blah. Adi retweets him and says, yes, 100% accurate. But again, I need to reiterate this. Adi, that might be true, Adi. And again, I read it wrong, and I can cop to that. I can admit to that. The problem is, why are you not addressing me directly? I even retweeted, like, I saw him doing this. And so I got back on him. And, we see you're retweeting your defenders instead of replying to us directly and still failing to address the issue. You said we were fabricating quotes, but at 2:03:22, you say these exact words. So what did you mean? Again, we'll run any clarification in full, just be direct. The fact that he can't be a fucking adult and just either DM me or reply tells me the world, not just about his character, but about the fact that he's only engaging with these people and retweeting like his defenders because he doesn't have a leg to stand on here. Again, I could totally believe that you meant something else and maybe you said it wrong or maybe I read it wrong. But the fact that you can't talk to me like an adult and you have to take to retweeting, again, the only 2 non-bots that were defending you, what am I supposed to draw from this except that you are a fucking teenage girl? And I have no respect for that behavior, right? Like, it is pathetic for a grown man who's wants to be at the figurehead of all these franchises, will not talk to somebody he's accused of fake news. Like, he made the accusation. I didn't bring it up. I didn't say anything about, oh, are you accusing our articles of being fake or do you think they're fake? He said that quote, I made it up. But I have the fucking clip. I'll play it for everybody here since I have it clipped out.
I'm passionate about Devil May Cry. Like, I love this thing.
Yeah.
And I love this niche thing.
That's the most important
And now
thing,
I can take it and hopefully blow it up to a point where I can expand it and there'll be more of it.
Yep.
Right? So and I didn't know that there was a Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
You didn't know?
No.
Wow.
I got actually unhappy when they so I signed the deal and I'm like, yeah, great, I'm doing it. And then they're like, good news, we have Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Were you hoping to play it before doing your adaptation? Is that what you're saying? Or you just...
No, I actually thought the franchise was dead.
Oh, I got you.
This was my thing. Like I liked Dino Crisis. I
see.
And I thought I was bringing this thing back, and I'm like, oh, this is like a modern fucking thing. Like this is ongoing. Then I should have done Street Fighter. I'm passionate.
The exact words I quoted came out of your mouth, and I'm offering you a direct chance to address me and all of our readers, and let me, I'm giving you a chance to say I will change our article and update and clarify and clear the air, which would even help you if this is truly not what you meant. He should be fucking astonished by all the attention it's been getting on the internet. I got on this story early. It is the talk of the timeline everywhere right now. Like Instagram friends are talking about it. Blue Sky's talking about it. Twitter, everybody is on this. There's probably going to be a bunch of videos. Go check out Neon Leon tonight. He's probably going to talk about it because it is the most, his statement is just the most like, get over yourself sort of statement. And the fact that he can't just, talk to me and say this, and then I can go and run it. And, then you can go, hey, I talked to one of my biggest critics. He admitted that he got this wrong. Here's the actual story. Check it out. That would not only earn you points, but it would stop you from losing all of these points that you are with the public. So as of right now, I just checked. That's what I was doing on my phone a second ago while this was playing. He still has not directly replied to us. He has not quote tweeted us. I have no messages from him in any of my inboxes anywhere, which again, I know Twitter's is breaking right now. So maybe he sent one there, and I'll admit that maybe there is one from him in there and it just isn't getting through right now because of Elon's fuck up or whatever. But he's not it just tells me everything, right? He's trying to gaslight us, essentially. He's trying to say, no, I didn't say that. Fuck you. You make up quotes. Which, that's a Trump technique, which only works for him and only works because, I say works loosely, but he just kind of gets his way. You don't get that, Adi. I had the exact quote and I dropped it in front of your face twice. All right? And you still you couldn't have the maturity, the intellectual composure to come talk to me, or the emotional composure rather, to come talk to me and get your side of the story out there. It's absolutely bizarre, or not bizarre, it's childish, it's immature, and I wouldn't expect this of my 22-year-old nephew. I'm not going to expect it from a fucking 45-year-old man who claims to love who is getting his hands on all of my franchises. You put yourself in this position, own up to it. Maybe you just misspoke, but no, you had to leap to, you are lying. You are just making up quotes. So check this out. Let's do this real quick. We're obviously running down, but I'm going to do this to sort of not formally close it out, but I'll do this. Then we'll roll into getting out of here. But all right, YouTube chat down. Adi Shankar, if you are watching this stream right now, or you're catching clips of it in VOD, in the future, what have you, I am the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics. I am the one who wrote that headline. I have requested I have given you multiple chances to offer me an explanation, a clarification as to what is going on. 1-to-1 right now, if I got this wrong, genuinely, please reach out to me and I will clarify everything. But if that's not the case, do not fucking lie about me. Do not call into question my work ethic and my work itself, or my site, or my employees, or my own fucking eyes and ears. Okay? I'm not going to expect a retraction out of you or an apology because you just aren't that kind of guy. It's very clear. But at the very least, just grow up. I literally have no better advice, but talk to people. Sorry, I know I hit the microphone. You have the same problem as Elon. You want to be popular. You want to be a poster. You think you want to be the it guy so bad, but you don't have it. And instead of accepting that, you continue to force all of your bullshit upon the rest of us. I'm sorry you're insecure, and I'm sorry I caught you, but that is no excuse to denigrate my work and smear my name. So if you'd like to talk, if you'd like to clarify, I'm all ears. You can find me right here on Twitter, @KabutoWriterMav. Leave a comment here, whatever. But let's grow up, start acting like an adult, and talk to me instead of just retweeting the 2 people who, out of the thousands talking about this, found a read somewhere that was favorable to you. All right? Just directly, Adi. With that said, let's pull up the chat again. Yes, we've gone a little over. Obviously, we probably knew that was going to happen because Adi Shankar was you saw everything. Whatever. We all knew that I was probably going to run over a little bit, but we have hit the 2-hour and 20 mark. Yes, I wanted to point that out as well, as Oki and Volume Dealer point out. Adi did get community noted right here. Shows a video of Shankar's podcast. Oh, I don't have the window up. My bad. Right here on that journalism tweet, Adi has been community noted. Shows a video of Shankar's podcast where he does in fact say this. And it is the exact tweet that I shared with him asking for clarification. So my ask is directly on his tweet now. And he's still trying to dodge around and be a child about it. It's so pathetic. Andrew sums it up best. He really is he's a real pathetic sack. I was initially looking forward to the Netflix series when I first saw the teaser because I liked the animation, but everything I've heard about the story plus this prick, that's kind of been the consensus, right? Is like DMC Netflix has some good animation. I know a lot of people have liked it. I've found some parts that I was like, oh, that's admittedly a cool shot. The studio is the same one behind Superman and Lois, so Studio Mer, Korean studio that kind of leans into that anime aesthetic. I was at least open. I'll be honest. When I heard the announcement, I heard Adi was on it and it was going to Netflix. I didn't have any hope for it, but at least when I saw that animation, I was like, maybe I'll at least get some cool clips or whatever. It's too few and far between. I can't even feature one like as a goodbye clip, right? Like they last 3 seconds. So it's just this is sort of the culmination of all of this bullshit entitled I'm a great creator attitude that has come out of not just Adi, but just Hollywood in general. Oki says, my guess, Shankar can't defend his comments, so he's latching on to whatever mental gymnastics his supporters can come with to save face. I agree with that, because notice how he's not really adding to anything. He's doing emojis and he's going, yep, 100%. What is 100? Like, talk to us. Explain. Don't play this vague bullshit where you say one thing and then you try to walk it back. Like, nah, not gonna work with me. I am not a boomer. I am not cat turd or whatever, right? You're damn right I ratioed him 0. Like, are you... The man is a liar. The man straight up is just a liar. His tweet, 180 likes. Mine, 1.9K, which is giant for Bounding, because we don't really focus on Twitter engagement, because it's just another... For us, we got to focus on the site. Twitter is just another platform for us to reach you guys and get the news out there. So absolutely ratioed him. Yep, this was short. I unfortunately, I noticed... whatchamacallit? I noted this at the top. I do have some Magic the Gathering to play to get to, so this stream was always going to be a little short, but don't worry, guys. I still wanted to hang out with you guys. I still wanted to kick your weekends off right. I still wanted to laugh and, joke and enjoy things with you. If I can, I will always find at least 2 hours to hang out with you guys on a Friday. So, yeah, no, absolutely, Andrew. Without me as a co-host, Mav Time is engaged. Shout out to me and him. Last night, I think we cracked the foil variant code. We got our show in at the 2-hour mark with both of us being comfortable, both of us, being totally like, oh yeah, we covered everything. So foil variant's kicking off to a great start there, or a great start. We're 24 episodes in. Oh yeah, the animation from the Gonzo ADV one, Andrew likes it way more. I still liked it visually from what I saw initially. That one is about the Netflix one. One of the things I love about the Gonzo one, the ADV one, they use Dante's DMC 2 outfit. Like a mix of 1 and 2. And the game 2 sucks, but I love that. That's one of the best takes on his, oh my God. One of the best takes on his suit is that 1 and 2 where he's got the black vest on top. And yeah, very, very hot topic, very 2000s hot topic, but it's still, I like it. Sakura, I know you've been sharing stuff. I did want to talk about some of the things you shared. Unfortunately, I do not have time. Remember, I appreciate everybody when you guys watch, and I always want you guys to share and talk to me. But with the limitations of time and the flow and the other subjects we might have to talk about, I might not always get to everything. This is unfortunately one of those cases. I have some Miku and Captain America to go lay the smackdown on a table with. That was the worst way to describe a game of Magic. Yeah, 2 hours and 5 minutes. It was perfect. And that was 2 hours and 5 minutes with Absolute Flash and DC Sonic being on the docket. I'm still genuinely impressed by us. But with that, guys, thank you for indulging me in my Adi Shankar rant. Sorry you had to stick by while Daddy, called out Uncle and said, come talk to me or get the hell off of my property. But all that said, I thank you for it. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Whether you're chatting with me actively, whether you're watching in the VOD, or whether you're watching right now and you just don't feel like chatting. I appreciate every single one of you. I couldn't do this show without you guys. And to be honest, I do the show to spread positivity, to remind you guys that there's good out there. If you guys weren't here and you weren't hanging out with me and nobody engaged with this, I'd probably be pretty bummed about it, right? I'd probably be a little more of a pissy little emo kid like I used to be when I was 17 and such. So, hey, Josh! Oh, you're coming in just at the end. We watched that clip. We talked all about that. We even talked about you and I and our... I don't even remember what conversation I referenced, but you came up. Of course, you're a beloved member of this community, Josh. But so are you are, and so is everybody else. From Shinkai to Sakura to Andrew to Oki to Zero to Corey to Sherry to who am I missing here? Oh, Timon, of course, Volume Dealer, Dante, and because you guys know I always can never remember if I got them. Extra shout out to Shinkai and Sakura, just in case I missed one of them a second ago. I love all of you, and I'm glad that you guys out there are, you're just willing to spend some of your time with me. You're willing to hang out. You're willing to see the brighter side of life. I think that's better for all of us. I think that's better for the world, and I enjoy it a lot because it means we get to hang out. So, what? I literally said Andrew. You were right there. I said, you were like number 3. Do you want me to go clip this, bitch? Do you want me to go clip this and post this on Twitter? I have the timestamps. I have the receipts. You know how I don't get into these. I don't do journalism haphazardly. Timon says his laptop just restarted on me. Damn, I missed a lot. That's okay. That just means you have something to watch in the interim. Until we get together next week, same Mav time, same Mav channel, right here for another episode of The Good, the Mav, the Ugly. Guys, love hanging out with you. Come back next week. If you can't wait until next week to hang out with me, you can catch me on Twitter, of course, at Kabuto Rider Mav. You can join our Discord, where we host the foil variant chat, the Good, the Mav, the Ugly chat, and just anything generally related to what I operate under as Kabuto Studios. So art, all that fun stuff. Check it out if you're interested in that. Wednesdays, you can find me over on Bounding, where I'm hanging out with Cider, Nerdigans, and Jacob and breaking down the bigger, main, Hollywood major news stories of the week. Then Thursday nights, you can catch me over on Foil Variant with Andrew, where now that we've locked our formula in, we are delivering the best flowing comic book podcast, the most intellectually honest comic book podcast on the planet. Go check it out. Come hang out with us. We have a lot of fun out there. And then, next Friday, right back there. Oh, okay, you disagree. Okay, fine, disagree. But with that, guys, have a good weekend. Go play something cool. Go read something fun. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to chat. Adi, my inbox is open. Come hit me up. Sonic fans, go get this bad boy. It has been sitting here on my desk staring at me this whole show. It's so cool. Go get it. With that, guys, we will be back next week. Next week, we'll probably have a normal, 3-hour show. It'll all be good. I'll see you then. I can't wait. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good weekend. And, I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Take it easy.
As the creator of Mara Jade...
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade. And I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zan.
No way.
You brought you brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out! There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him burned and
I don't even know who that guy is.